All right, and welcome back, heroes and heroines, to, the final HeroShot podcast of 2019.
Man, we have 8 hours left.
We have a few hours left of 2018. Looking forward to 2019. Looking forward to all of the... We got this remote sitting here for some reason. We got looking forward...
Man, because we have been clicking through the year.
We have been... Yes. We have just been clicking along with 2018. Had some good times, had some okay times.
Had some bad times.
But we are looking forward to 2019, and we are looking forward to all of the exciting movies that are coming out next year. Plus, I mean, it's just an exciting time. It's a refresh. You know, I'm going to lose 100 pounds in 365 days. I don't know if I'm going to pull it off.
You're what, 40 now?
I'm down about 40 pounds.
You look great. Every time
man.
I see you, I'm like, dude, you look great. When I Skype you, your face looks smaller every time.
Thanks, dude. I really actually.
Soon you're going to look like Beetlejuice when he gets hexed.
Yeah, it's just going to be my head. Like,
yeah.
No, like my body's going to be the same.
Duncan's lost 40 pounds of face fat.
That's exactly what I feel like sometimes. I feel like I don't look that different.
No, you
but
do.
I feel like in the face, like that's the one place that I actually do look different.
Can I say something? You can cut this if you don't feel comfortable with me asking.
Sure.
Weren't you given this, but you said it was too tight?
Oh yeah, that's true.
So that's good. I mean, that's like a physical thing. It's a materialistic thing.
It fits a little bit better now.
It's
Yeah.
fine. If it's
we
how
got,
it should fit.
What did we get? We got. I think I
The
got
Oscars.
this for the Oscars. Yeah.
I need to get my own for the Oscars this year.
And now, of course, this year, or for this podcast, it's a very special podcast, very different than what we typically do week to week. Typically, every week on the podcast, we talk about all the biggest news in like movies and TV and stuff like that.
The news.
But this week, however, we thought we'd change things up a little bit for the the last show of the year, and we would present to you guys, the audience at large, the 2018 HeroShot Movie Awards, also known as the Shotties. The Shotties. That, and thanks to Eric for coming up with
You're welcome.
such a good name.
Yeah.
We have several categories that we have broken things that we could have done like a pretty typical these are my favorite movies of the year. These are the movies I didn't like and all that. But Eric had the bright idea of breaking everything down into what do we got? We got like
kind of so we have like favorite scene, most surprising movie, biggest disappointment. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of normal, but I wanted to.
We've got 10 categories.
And I think we should leave best movie. I think there's a couple. I'm fine with whatever order, but I think there's a couple you keep towards the end.
I kind of did it in a different order than you sent to me. I should have, but so,
well, that's fine because I didn't send it to you in the order. I feel like we should have talked about it anyways.
I had that.
That's the last one and best movie.
No. I have. That's last. That's last.
Do you want to make that last? Okay.
What do you think?
That's fine. And then we have a very special award.
That's second to last.
That I came up with the name for, I think, last night or 2 nights ago.
Okay. I don't recall.
Blade Runner 2049 Most Divisive Movie of the Year award.
Is that so? Like that's probably that. Then
that's one that either, and I will say this for future years to come because we'll always do this show every year. Is Forever and Ever.
Forever.
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda. We've been saying
forever.
Wakanda forever for about 30 minutes now.
Yeah, we're only like 9 months late. But no, so I would like to say it may be a movie that I loved and you didn't like or vice versa. But more than likely, it'll probably always be a movie that you loved and I didn't like.
Okay.
In the spirit of Blade Runner 2049.
I think, so the one that we discussed, is that the one that we're going to go with?
Yeah, I have it written down.
Okay. So, all right. So we...
Yeah, because that's the only one we know of each other's besides our favorite movie, which everyone knows our favorite movie.
It's one that I enjoyed that you absolutely hated. And I'm fine with that.
That I was surprised you enjoyed because when we were watching it, you didn't seem to enjoy it. I wasn't getting that vibe. Should we actually do our favorite movie first because people are going to know what it is? I'm sorry. I was probably talking too loud.
You were clipping a little bit. No, it's fine.
Now I'm close to the mic when I wasn't earlier.
I will keep an eye on it for sure.
I'm so
now
sorry.
Now you're a little quiet. I don't know. I had it broken down into what I thought was very similar to kind of how they do it on the Oscars. I'm happy to do it. However you think is
you want to start with actor and actress?
I had actually best fight scene first.
All right, let's do that. Let's do your order. I'll work under your order. Okay.
All right. So let's jump into it here. So first category here, best fight scene. of
Should we
2018.
do this?
I had
Should we act out each,
dude,
like, a word?
you got to do this, like freaking Henry
Oh,
Cavill.
I should have
dude.
taken off my blazer and been like,
Dude,
What
you
does he
gotta you gotta cock your arms like freaking Henry
I
Cavill.
look like I'm just stroking.
And of course, that is just and to speak of Henry Cavill, that is so. I have several honorable mentions for several of the categories here.
Okay.
Ones that maybe I liked a whole lot that didn't quite make the list. And for me, the bathroom fight scene from Mission Impossible Fallout is definitely on my. It's up there, but it's not my number one. But it's up there.
Should I go ahead and just say then that is my?
I figured that I probably should have. By the way,
I guess if it is an honorable mention, should the other person go ahead and just?
well, yeah, I mean,
Because I don't want to sit here quiet while you're talking about.
no.
Why it's
Let's
an
let's
honorable
jump.
mention.
Let's
Does that
get
make
into
sense?
yours then. Yeah, if that's
Well, no. I mean, I'm just saying, like, is it?
Oh,
weird
you want to hold off on it?
No, I'm saying, would you
We
rather?
didn't plan this out very well.
Well, in very typical hero shot fashion. Well, I kind of wanted that element of surprise for like what we even pick for our stuff. But I'm like, if you're talking about, all right, so you go through, I'm letting you know that's what it is. I'll explain
Okay.
why.
All right.
But
All
you
right.
finish your process.
All right.
be fine.
Another one that was high on my list is the T'Challa versus Killmonger scene. That initial fight scene from Black Panther.
Oh, okay, and the ritual fight.
Right.
Okay, not the CGI.
No.
mush.
The challenge against each other on that waterfall. Fantastic scene. Loved both of those guys in that movie. I think that's a very pivotal scene. But for me, in my opinion, and I'm so glad that I watched this movie again recently because it reminded me how fantastic this moment in the movie is. My best fight scene of the year is Black Widow, Okoye, and Scarlet Witch versus Proxima Midnight. The scene in Wakanda in Infinity War.
Wakanda.
You're gonna hear Infinity War brought up several times during this
Yeah.
list, unfortunately. But no, I now that Infinity War is on Netflix, I rewatched it again a couple nights ago, and
Was it your dad's first time? I saw you
it was my
tweeted.
dude.
Was it? His
It was
first time
2.5
watching it?
hours of explaining the entire MCU to my dad because the only MCU movie I think he's seen is Ragnarok, and that movie.
Oh, that's kind of far out there too.
That movie is set up to where like he didn't really need all the backstory, but he needed it for Infinity War.
I like the first 5 minutes of Infinity War. It's probably like, oh, I totally know what's going on.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
never
yeah,
again.
exactly. He's like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that from Ragnarok, but the scene on the ship there with the Asgardians. But
Oh, what a good score during that scene. I'll never forget about that
oh
score.
dude, yes.
like,
But no, that when Black Widow and Okoye and eventually Scarlet Witch take out Proxima Midnight, I love the line there at the very end when Okoye is like, "What was she doing up there this entire time?" Like
Yeah.
when Scarlet Witch is with Vision, getting the stone removed. That is my greatest best fight scene of 2018. What say you, Eric? Even though I'll spoil the surprise for you.
I'll say my one honorable mention that I think about a lot is not even necessarily the fight scene on Titan for Avengers Infinity War, but just like when Iron Man's trying to beat up Thanos, all this for a drop of blood fight. I love that because it is like it's Tony Stark giving literally everything he has to Thanos, and Thanos just like drops one piece of blood, which was kind of funny. He didn't to any other heroes.
Hope they remember you.
Yeah, like it's just this incredible fight scene, and then the way he just dismantles Tony Stark and like makes him give up hope. It was a very Tony Stark thing where he wasn't being like a smart aleck. He was just like realizing like we're so screwed right now.
It's fantastic, man. And
But that's not
There's
my main one.
several in Infinity War that you could really go to. I mean, just the initial battle in Wakanda itself.
The story's kind of weak because there are so many fight scenes, but it's fine because you don't need a lot of story with that movie.
Right. But of course, your number one.
My award for the biggest
Your
best
Shotty.
fight song, my Shotty goes to the bathroom fight Mission Impossible Fallout. I rewatched it the other night.
Cock in the
you've
arms.
You've got Henry Cavill making a joke about hope in that scene. You've
I
got
missed that.
Yeah. He says something about like being against hope. He's like, hope means nothing or something. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Yeah, you've got him cocking his arms. It's super funny. I love how Tom Cruise, like Ethan Hunt, just the way he fights is like kind of fast, almost like martial arts, kind of almost. But like Henry Cavill's almost like boxing in a sense. Like he's just like, you can tell you have like a tank and you have like a rogue. Like if it was a video game, like very nerdy terms. But it's like you have this quick little guy going in for little cuts, like death by 1,000 cuts, and then you're Henry Cavill who wants to go ahead. Which Angela Bassett says it in the trailer and in the movie, doesn't she say? Use a scalpel, I use like a hammer. Like that's how they fight.
Right.
It's funny because the whole face thing that they use, like the mask. It just breaks, and then there's like funny little intersections within the scene. It's a perfect scene, I think, because it has fighting, it moves the story along, and it has really, really, really funny moments. It's like I could watch that scene over and over. The bathroom is super cool looking.
Yeah.
It's definitely a set. It's not a very realistic bathroom, even for like a high end club.
Guys are throwing like the concrete pillars, like
yeah,
it's just like crumbling.
But the guy that they fight just like completely beats the hell out of Henry Cavill and Tom Cruise, and it's great because they're fighting two different ways, and they also don't really like each other, so you can tell there's no teamwork there. It's almost nighttime. Your Mac just changed the background.
Oh,
I love how it does that.
Turning to dusk.
But yeah, like man, Mission Impossible bathroom scene, maybe one of my favorite scenes of the year. But it's definitely not my favorite scene of the year because that's a different movie. Absolutely. Am I talking too loud or too low?
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just trying to key it in right in the perfect spot. So speaking of favorite scene,
we're gonna go there.
Let's jump into our favorite scene out of a movie from 2018. This one I don't have honorable mentions for. I just got the one.
I don't either.
But by all means, go on ahead and you take the lead on this one, sir.
Mine is Thanos getting the Soul Stone to the snap, like through the snap. So honestly, I would say it's probably like two scenes, but like, do you think would you consider that two scenes? I guess it's one scene.
Yeah.
But him getting the Soul Stone, like ripping it out of Vision, and like Elizabeth Olsen, Scarlet Witch trying to stop him, through him actually doing the snap with Thor, like, you know, putting the Stormbreaker through him. So it's like that scene. There's like all the Avengers are getting, you know, beat by him one by one, which is like, it's kind of a silly scene. It honestly is the most silly scene of Avengers Infinity War.
When like every Avenger goes up against him like one on one,
and it's just them running.
He's
at
just
him.
wrecking shot.
You could tell that was a reshoot somewhere. That definitely was a reshoot.
Probably.
But I love how the Vision line to Scarlet Witch, like the, you know, I only see you. Line. I love that line, especially when they say it early in the movie. Their romance, and I said this after Infinity War came out, it's like my favorite MCU romance, and it's like, it's by far the least shown one. But no, that, like, it's super, super, super emotional. And yeah, like, you just know, like, all hope is lost. And the way he uses the Time Stone to bring Vision back and get the Soul Stone.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't that crazy? Because you thought, like, oh, at least she destroyed it. Like, that he can't get to it.
You know,
now he'll go crazy. He'll really be the Mad Titan. And then it's like, he's just like, nope.
Rewatching it again the other day, I still go back to the first time I saw it. I still thought when he puts his hand out and like that green chain wraps around it, I'm like, oh, Doctor Strange has got something happening.
I knew it was the Time Stone.
I still expect that. Like, I still think like, oh, he sprung a trap on him. But then, of course, no, he just reverses.
Well, there's
time.
that theory that Doctor Strange did his like curse or whatever he put on or his spell he put on the Time Stone, that when he would use it with the other stones, that it would. That's why his arm is damaged.
It is a simple spell, but it's quite unbreakable.
Quite unbreakable. And maybe he didn't technically kill Doctor Strange, so that's why he was able to. I mean, he gave it to him though, so I don't know.
Maybe not.
But yeah, so that's my favorite scene. Like, it's just, that's like the definitive MCU scene. Like, everything changes after that scene. Granted, we haven't really seen anything after that scene, but like, you know, like, that's the turning point for the MCU. That's the biggest point in the MCU's history besides the Avengers like turnaround shot.
Right. Exactly.
So it's like all the and I'll get to this later, but like all the air went out of the room the first time we saw that scene.
Yep.
Like, it was, I've never been in a theater that was so just like, oh, like in the back of our heads we all knew maybe it was going to happen, but no one thought it was going to happen in the first one.
Very quiet theater when that moment happens. You know, everyone's sort of on the edge of their seat, and those kind of moments, like, we got a couple of moments like that this year. You know, we got that
got chills.
A couple of times. Yeah, just thinking about it.
Man, Bucky, like, as soon as you see Bucky, you're like, oh no, like, it's happening.
And then, of course, when Black Panther, when it happens, everyone goes like, ah!
Yeah, and then when Peter's doing it.
Oh, dude.
That's that one's
rewatching it the other night, man, when Peter goes, it makes my eyes like it. My eyes
dude,
get watery thinking about it, man.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I didn't get emotional about it the first time because I didn't really think of what all it meant. But now you go back and you think about all that Tony has lost, all that Tony Tony's character, like, and how much he actually cares for Peter, even though he doesn't technically show it. And when he loses Peter. And just that moment of him just being a kid, like a kid isn't ready. A kid is not ready to go.
Even though he was a soldier in a sense, like he was still like a
how old
casualty
is
of
Peter?
war.
Like
he's supposed to be 15 or 16 by this time this movie comes out.
I mean, yeah, you get a kid and he's realizing he's like coming face to face with his fate. There, it's a hardcore moment,
and like
man.
I don't want to go, and he's crying and all.
Oh, dude, it's so much, man.
Your iPad thinks someone is. I guess it's Tony Stark because is a person. I just keep looking at it. It's funny. It keeps framing up Tony Stark's face.
My favorite moment from 2018 is also from Infinity War. And this is maybe a little bit cliche, but man, it gives me the tingles every time I see it. And
when'd you get them tingles?
And of course, that's Thor's arrival in Wakanda.
Oh yeah, great.
Bring me Thanos!
Yeah.
It's just, dude, it is so badass. And like the Stormbreaker like spinning around, like killing all the heck were those things called?
Outriders.
Yeah, those things. That moment where Thor shows up, and I also think that it is a very important moment in Eric's.
I do my yelling count.
Eric's yodeling.
Sorry.
That it's, in my opinion, that is sort of like I almost, and not to get like too, I guess, nerdy in a way, but like it makes me think of like the first time like Goku and Dragon Ball Z went Super Saiyan, and you're just like that's Thor's like ultimate, like that's Thor at his ultimate power level. I feel like
much like the snap is like the MCU setting will never be the same. That's Thor's character never becoming the same. Like that's Thor from here on out.
Right.
Like he knows how to tap into.
And in my opinion, I mean,
Sorry.
like we can differ on opinions here, but
what
I do think that moment shows that Thor is the most powerful Avenger, in my opinion. I think he's the strongest.
Sure, yeah.
I think he's the strongest out of.
I think Stormbreaker helps with that.
I mean, maybe you can argue. I don't really know Captain Marvel's power level, but I mean, maybe that changes. But as of right now, in my opinion, I think Thor is the strongest.
I think
member of the MCU.
I think if Thor had more military type training or something, I think he could beat Captain Marvel in a battle in the MCU. I do.
Absolutely.
I don't know. He can outmaneuver the Hulk, which helps a lot. Stormbreaker could rip through the Hulk too. So
absolutely.
But yeah.
So moving on, I have best original song as listed next, and I had a couple of honorable mentions here. Of course, when you're thinking about music, I just watched A Star Is Born 2 days ago.
Man,
and my gosh,
I've been hyping this movie up for months.
Was it fantastic?
You liked it that much?
I loved it.
Quick scale since you didn't review it. How many out of? Oh man, I'm not going to spoil the movie. I was about to do a really dark rating system, and you probably know what I was going to do.
Yeah. You can just go Lady Gaga's out of 5.
Out of 5 Bradley Cooper's drivers, Greg Grunberg. Who I love that actor.
Greg Grunberg. It's so funny. You don't see his face until like halfway into the movie. You see the back of his head
from Heroes.
Yeah.
Matt Parkman, right?
I never watched Heroes. So.
Dude, I got the tattoo on my arm and everything.
What?
That's the tattoo I have. Is from the Heroes logo.
You have a tattoo?
I got it weird. I'll explain this story one time.
I didn't know you had a tattoo.
In 2019.
I did not know you had a tattoo.
Stories. You don't have a tattoo.
I don't have any tattoos, but I've wanted several.
We'll talk about tattoos.
All right,
as a topic.
That sounds good. No, if I was to go out of Greg Grunberg's, I'd probably go. I'd say 4.5 Greg Grunberg's out of 5.
Dude, I think it's such a good.
It's up there for sure,
man. Oh, sorry, but so what's your song of the year?
So you know, "Shallow" is of course the lead song from that, and it's an amazing
first
song.
Trailer, yeah.
I don't know. I didn't write down the information of like who wrote the actual songs.
Bradley Cooper wrote a lot of them with whose son? He's mentioned in the movie. Is it Jerry Lee Lewis's son? Who's the guy that like the actual real rock singer? That's mentioned in the movie.
I don't know, but
right, I'm gonna look
just put performed by Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. All of the Stars was another one from the Black Panther soundtrack from Kendrick Lamar and SZA. I had to look up how to pronounce her name, but no, man, for me, this is one that dawned on me at the very last second. One that I didn't really make the correlation because Shallow was going to be my number one because I think it's a very good song.
Shallows.
Shallows?
I think it's Shallows.
I think it's Shallow. You might want to look that up.
I thought it was like because it's that you're going to the shallows.
But I think the title of the song is Shallow.
Oh.
Not Shallow, but Shallow.
So Cooper wrote about...
Look up the song Shallow. Or can you go down to the soundtrack?
Roger Love. Sorry. Did they not have the... Okay. Intro, Black Eye, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Oh, Shallow. Okay, sorry. I thought it was Shallows.
Performed by... Yeah, and it should say... Writer... Mark Ronson. Wow. He's a... he's the guy that did Uptown Funk.
Really? See, I don't know any of this stuff with
Andrew. Who is this guy? Man,
there's a famous guy that remember when they're at the SNL. When he's at SNL, they bring up a famous person.
Yeah.
That who is Willie Nelson's son? Isn't it Willie Nelson's son? Doesn't Sam Elliott's character talk about he was going to help Willie Nelson on tour?
Yeah,
it's Willie Nelson's son that really helped write some of the songs.
Okay. Gotcha.
But yeah. Sorry.
No. It's all good. My favorite original song from 2018 is "Sunflower" from the Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack. And it dawned on me as I was sort of looking through songs from this year, and that song is one that I actually listen to on not on a pretty frequent basis. I hear it on the radio all the time. I love that song. I love Post Malone, which is very funny because I was so off on him for so long because he looks so stupid.
He does. I really like his personality.
But man, his music is great, dude. I think it's so good. But no, Sunflower for me, best original song of 2018. What say you, Mr. MCU?
You mean what song to enjoy with a Coke?
What's that?
A Coke Zero?
We got Erica Coke Zero.
Refreshing.
It's the taste of a new generation.
It is the taste of a new generation. Except they want to bring Diet Coke to the new generation. No, so my favorite song of the year original song is from A Star Is Born. It is not Shallow, even though I do think that song is good. And I guess without spoiling the movie, because it's not on home release yet. If it was on home release, I wouldn't care. But that's kind of my thing now. I think I decided is if it's home release, I don't care about spoilers. If it's not home release,
I think that's a good way to go.
Best original song is "I'll Never Love Again," which is sung by Lady Gaga.
Is that the one at the end?
The very end.
Oh yeah.
Now I will say this. A little fun fact here: the day that she went to record that for the movie and do that scene, her real life best friend died of cancer. And they were like, Bradley Cooper was like, "Hey, do you want to go ahead and wait a couple weeks or something? Do you need you time?" And she said, "No, I want to do it right now." So I think it's everything, and of course, without saying a lot, everything leading up to that scene and her in that universe singing that song is so heavy. All I could say after I got out of that movie with my friends, I was like, that movie is one of the heaviest movies I've ever seen. It was just so, dude, I cannot wait to watch it again. And it's not out until the end of February, and it's driving me nuts because I'll do anything to watch it right now.
Yeah, I know. I saw that it was luckily. Yeah,
the FBI's about to get you.
Yeah, luckily
Duncan went to the theater and saw it.
Yeah, I went to the theater. No, unfortunately, I did not go to the theater and see. I watched a version on the internet, but it was fantastic, man, and I loved all of the music in it and everything. But for me, I think Sunflower was the one that I have listened to the most, and it's one that I listen to just sort of even when I'm not thinking about movies and everything like that. I just think it is the best song of the year. So what I had next is most surprising movie of 2018, and since I went first on the last one, I'll let you take this one, sir.
Okay. I actually was pretty set with, and I've actually named this on the review for the podcast. Or the show, I should say. What was my most surprising movie of the year? But when I was going through all the movies I've seen this year, I actually changed it. So my runner-up is now Bumblebee.
Ah, okay.
And the only reason why it's not getting the award, the Shottie, is because I kind of went into it thinking, oh, it's got a good cast. It's going to be like an indie movie. It's going to be based in the 80s. It's kind of toned down as far as Transformers movies go. So I was kind of going into it thinking it was at least going to be good. So I actually was like, okay, well, that's not the most surprising then, right? Like, I thought it would be a solid 6 or 7. So even though it's like a 9.5 for me, that's less from my next movie, which I actually remember I even told you the movie I'm about to say. I can pull away if I need to.
It's all good.
Is I didn't even really care to go see this movie, and it ended up being one of my favorite movies of the year, to be honest. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I have Jurassic Park down. Remember how much I love that movie?
Dude,
and
yes.
I want to watch it again. And it was surprising because I hate Jurassic World. I think it sucks.
Wow.
And I was
Good
like,
call,
man.
man.
That was such a low movie to a high movie for me. I was like, it is my most surprising movie of the year. It really is.
Absolutely.
So
I like that, dude. Dude, it's so funny how easy it is to forget about some of these. I went through and I tried to think about everything that I saw this year, and I went through, and there were tons that I was really surprised by this year.
The app that I use to keep track.
Some of some of the ones are ones that I expected nothing from, that I actually really enjoyed, namely Annihilation, which we saw at the very beginning of the year from Alex Garland.
Yep.
That was one that I was, I had seen the trailer a couple of times. It looked pretty creepy, and that was one that actually stuck with me for the rest of the year. Unsane, which is one that we also saw.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's a good movie. Yeah,
that's one that was very surprising, because another one that I was expecting nothing from, and I ended up coming out of that movie very much enjoying it. Plus the whole being filmed with iPhones things, I thought was very cool. That was a cool little gimmick for that movie. But also, I mean, even though I had a very good idea about this movie, that it actually, especially after seeing the first few trailers, but if I go back to when I first heard about this movie, what the concept was going to be, I thought it was going to be awful. And that's Into the Spider-Verse. That's
that was your most surprising.
That's
movie?
not my most surprising. Yeah.
Okay.
That's probably the one that is right there for me. And like I said, once those first couple of trailers came out, I had a good idea that it was going to be pretty good. Mm-hmm. But I go back to when I first heard that Sony was going to do an animated Spider-Man movie, and I was like, this is going to be the worst movie ever of next year. And it ended up being one of my most favorite movies of the year. So that is, for me, that was one of the reasons why it was one of the most surprising to me. But you did actually mention the one that I was going to say. And that, for me, my most surprising movie, my Shottie for most surprising movie of 2018 goes to Bumblebee. And
man, what a great movie.
The reason why I had to put it there is because I was expecting nothing from this movie. I didn't even want to see this movie. It's funny. We're going to talk about...
Yeah, we both were kind of like... I'm surprised we didn't not go see the movie, to be honest.
Exactly. Well, I gotta say, I thought some of the trailers were actually pretty good, and I didn't even see I've seen every Transformers movie in the theater, I'm pretty sure, except the last night. I couldn't bring myself to do it.
I've never seen the last two anyways.
I boycotted it. I couldn't do it. We're going to talk about the results of the 2018 movie draft once we wrap this up. And that's one that had to be somebody's mulligan, because nobody picked Bumblebee, because nobody was expecting anything from it. And the fact that it's turned out, and actually I have the numbers right here, the fact that Bumblebee actually is good, and to the tune of a 92% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes and an 80% audience score for Rotten Tomatoes, Bumblebee has actually turned out to be a very pleasant surprise in a universe that I think a lot of people had given up on. If you had asked me in January, hey, are you going to go see Bumblebee this year? I probably would have said no. But it wasn't until those first couple of trailers came out.
Not in theaters, at least.
And it's turned out to be one of my favorite movies of the year. So Bumblebee, for me, is my most surprising movie of 2018. And so from here, since we go from most surprising, I figured at this point we could go to most disappointed.
That's fine.
Disappointing. And for me, I had a couple that I wanted to mention. Is this yours, by the way? Can you see it?
The middle one?
Yeah.
The middle one? No, mine's actually... I will say mine's actually one that's going to win another award. But,
okay.
But no, it's mine. Yeah, do yours. I'll do
okay.
mine. But no,
so
I don't even have a runner up.
I had a couple of runner ups just for this one. Just in
Wrinkle in Time, I guess I could be a runner up.
In several for me that took the life out of me. I will say that I was not expecting a lot out of Wrinkle in Time, but that movie, in my opinion, I think Wrinkle in Time is the worst movie of the year. I think
What's the last one of the other movies? Oh, Venom's one for me that I don't like. I was disappointed in it. Deadpool 2, actually, now that I think about it, probably could be mine. But
that could
because I had high hopes for it, and it was like, this is not very good.
One especially for me, because it was one of the movies that I drafted for this year, expecting a whole lot out of it, and it was so funny because even when we did the movie draft, we didn't even know what this movie was titled yet, but come the Super Bowl, we got it, and that of course is Cloverfield Paradox.
This is your one?
That's not my most.
Another.
That's just the top of. That's just my most honorable mention.
That almost was going to be mine.
Man, it's so
because
bad.
I love the Cloverfield universe.
God,
We've talked about this.
I love the Cloverfield. I'm still so into the Cloverfield universe, like what everything means. I've rewatched Cloverfield a couple of times, and I love that movie. I love 10 Cloverfield Lane. It's fantastic. And Cloverfield Paradox, man, it just dropped the ball in so many ways. It's just like the story doesn't make sense. The acting is not good. It's just a mess of a movie. But that was, I think a lot of people can understand that. But man, my biggest disappointment for 2018, the Shotty, which it's unfortunate. That's a little bit of a almost kind of like a Razzie if we were giving away a Razzie. My Shotty for biggest disappointment of 2018 is probably Aquaman. I think it's Aquaman.
Seriously, are you that low on it?
Man, no. I'm not saying I'm that low on it.
Okay,
but
you expected
I'm
more.
saying the what's the word?
Disparity.
That's
probably not the right word, but whatever.
I don't know if that's the right word or not, but we're gonna go with it anyways. The disparity between how much I wanted to love the movie and how I felt after seeing it for the first time. Man, I was really depressed and let down after seeing that movie for the first time. There's a lot that I liked about it. If you go back, I gave it a 3 out of 5, which you could say that that's not a terrible score, and it's not a terrible movie.
Would you go down on that score now?
No, I don't think so.
You think you keep it where it's at?
But
I did 3.5.
I'm not saying it's the worst movie of the year. I'm not saying that. There's way worse movies. I'm just saying for my personal disappointment in versus how much I anticipated that movie versus how I felt afterwards. That's the biggest gap there for me is Aquaman. What say you?
My biggest disappointment, and which is kind of weird because I should say Deadpool 2, but I'm going to stick with my original one. Even though the first one in the new series was very disappointing to me, the trailers for this new one really hyped me up for it, and it still let me down almost even more, was Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald.
Gotcha.
So it was a disappointment because it sucked watching this movie because there was so many like not callbacks, more like call forwards, honestly, to the Harry Potter universe, and I was like,
weird things with the universe.
This like what are they doing? Like J.K. Rowling is like writing these movies. What is she doing?
Jacob Rowling?
J.K.
J.K. bro.
J.K. Rowling, whatever.
It sounded like you said Jacob Rowling.
Sorry, Jacob Rowling, her son, is writing these movies, and it just kind of, I was like, man, like this, like why is she making these choices for the universe? Like the movie universe seems very different from the book universe now. I was really excited for to meet oh god, what's his name? The Philosopher's Stone guy, the Sorcerer's Stone guy.
Oh, Grindelwald?
No, because I don't care about him. The old guy, the really old guy.
Flamel,
Nicolas Flamel. But him to get to see more maybe about like it going from more like World War I into World War II type stuff, like seeing more of the world, it focusing more on Dumbledore. Like, dude, Jude Law's Dumbledore was still really good in the movie, but the whole movie just falls apart. Like, it felt like I was like holding sand in an open hand that entire movie. Like, none of it made sense. It was a very big disappointment for a property that I consider my Star Wars. As far as like growing up, I grew up with Harry Potter. Like people are like, they grew up with Star Wars, and I'm like, I just don't. Oh man, it sucks.
So with that said, do you want to get into that extra category that we had mentioned there?
You mean the ultimate award at the Shotties?
Yeah,
the Blade Runner 2049 Most Divisive Movie of the Year award.
I think it's time that we go ahead and mention because
can you please have some sort of a graphic? I know I always ask you for graphics, and you're probably like, please don't do this, where it just pops up really fast all over, or like somehow. the Blade Runner 2049 Most Divisive Movie of the Year award. Like, as I say it, it's just like
going
across real fast.
Oh yeah, sure. That's fine.
Maybe it'll be easy. I'm not sure. If it's not, don't worry about it.
We can figure it out. But yeah, so it's interesting that you mentioned Crimes of Grindelwald.
What's the award?
Because the Blade Runner 2049. What is it again?
Blade Runner 2049 Most Divisive Movie of the Year award.
Most Divisive Movie of the Year award, and this is almost like an honorary award in a way, because
I know. We need to send Ryan Gosling an award.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet today that someone said they met Ryan Gosling like last year, and they said like, "Hey man, I really enjoyed Blade Runner 2049." He goes, "Oh, you must be the one," and they couldn't tell if he was joking or not.
Of course, why would we name an award after a movie
a truly divisive movie
that came out a year ago?
True.
And the reason why we do that is if you're listening to the podcast for the first time, you won't realize that Eric and I go way back on Blade Runner 2049, and the fact that I think it's a pretty good movie. Like, I enjoy Blade Runner 2049. Eric, on the other hand, absolutely hates it. Like he basically hates everything in life. This award is something that we decided we're going to present to one movie every year, because there's always, no matter what, there's always going to be probably a movie that I enjoyed that Eric did not so much. This
could go the other way. Like I said, it could go the other way.
This award, like, we could have probably given this to Venom. But the fact is that I didn't love Venom. Like, do you
love the movie that got the award?
I'll say this: the movie that did get the award, I would watch again. Venom, I have really no desire to watch again.
I want to get that steelbook, and I don't like physical media. The Venom steelbook, I just think it looks really cool.
I think it looks cool too. It could have gone to Venom because you did not like Venom. I thought it was fine.
Venom's like a dumb fun movie, is what I kind of settled out on it. So I'm like, maybe I would watch Venom at some point if I wanted to. Like, I think a Venom commentary would be good.
Absolutely, but
that's the extent of it.
You just mentioned it, man. The Blade Runner 2049 Most Divisive Movie of the Year award goes to Crimes of Grindelwald. And yeah, I actually had a good time with the movie. I very much enjoyed it. And very much is kind of a strong word. But like I said just a moment ago, the reason for that is I know you had your very strong feelings about the movie. I, on the other hand, somewhat enjoyed it, and I would watch it again. I plan on, when it comes out on HBO or something like that, I will watch it again.
It'll be on HBO for sure, yeah.
I had a pretty good time with the movie. I like what it kind of does with the universe, but man, I preface that with, I consider myself very much a Potter novice. Like, I am not a hardcore Potter fan. Like, I really love all the movies. And
do you think if you knew more, and this is such a weird, ambiguous question, do you think if you knew more about the okay, so let me ask this and then explain why. Do you think if you knew more about the Harry Potter universe, this movie would bother you? Because are you the type of second question, are you the type of person who's like, no, this is the lore, this is how it should be?
Well, I feel like we ran into this a couple of times. Halloween is one that I think I go to automatically, and
shout out for Garrett there.
I think about the fact that I feel like the bigger original Halloween fan you are, the more you probably did not like Halloween from earlier this year. Mm-hmm. And I think it might be the same for this Fantastic Beasts movie. I think maybe the more hardcore Harry Potter fan that you are, maybe you didn't enjoy this movie so much, and maybe the lesser Potter fans might have actually gotten more enjoyment out of this. And that's what I consider myself as something that I actually did enjoy and plan on watching again. I liked what it did with the universe. I liked the sort of the liberties that it takes with sort of building upon the universe. And I can totally understand if you are hardcore into that universe, you might find some of those changes a bit jarring and a bit drastic. Mm-hmm. And a bit insulting, I guess is probably a good.
That's what, yeah. Like, it honestly feels a little insulting. And I'm really not trying to sound like an entitled fan, because I'm not like go kill like an actor for the movie, or like they suck.
Eddie Redmayne.
I think it's the story itself that sucks. I think Eddie Redmayne I really don't like in that role, to be honest. But I think that Newt Scamander needs to be pushed out of that universe anyways, or that story. But they won't, because it's called Fantastic Beasts, which doesn't make sense for the direction they're going.
If you think about it, would you prefer Dumbledore being the main character of those movies?
I mean, it seems like that's where it's going, so why shouldn't it be?
Yeah.
But no, you have to be the one to go against him, or whatever it says. I don't know. And then you got Ezra Miller. I don't know. It's not on home video yet, but yeah. I still say home video, like it's like the 90s. I have a weird award. This is going to be kind of an audible here.
Okay.
If you're down for this, if you can think of something.
Okay.
Because there's a bunch of movies that I watched this year that didn't come out this year. And I mean, like, they didn't even come out the very end of 2017. Like, they just didn't come out they haven't come out recently. Do you have any movies that you've watched this year for the first time that you would be like a must-watch movie that's been out like at least a year?
Or no? That's a good question.
Or do you want to think on it? Maybe we can do one for that.
Let me think on it a second. Okay. I know you have something in mind. Why don't you mention what you have in mind, and I'm gonna try and think of something that.
So I'm gonna say a movie I watched this year that I really enjoyed. It's on Amazon Prime. I'm sure it still is. What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh,
Taika Waititi. And what's his name from Flight of the Conchords? I watched it for the first time this year. Man, that movie is so funny. And that like series, the FX TV series is coming out.
Let's
I think it's FX.
Let's double up on that one, because
did you watch it for the first time this year?
Because
I don't want. I want to
say
yes.
I
don't want you lying to the audience.
I don't recall watching it prior to this year, but as soon as I don't think I could have watched it before buying this TV, because this TV is what I started watching Amazon Prime on. And
you bought that TV maybe 6 months ago, right?
Yeah, it was about 6 months ago. Yeah,
it was right before Avengers came out on home video, right? I know we watched it on there.
Yeah, I think so. I think that sounds about right.
Hey, Happy New Year's, Nanad. As we're recording this, I think it's right at about New Year's for you. So
yeah, he messaged me earlier.
I got a voice message. I haven't had time to listen to it. Sorry.
I really appreciate the voice message, Nanad. It's good. It's really good. It's very. I think it was about midnight for them over there in Germany.
I would say he's America's sweetheart, but he's Germany's sweetheart.
He is.
That should be his podcast nickname.
The HeroShot sweetheart for sure. He's getting his own personal shotty himself for being sort of.
Hey, should he be HeroShot Fan of the Year?
He should be HeroShot Fan of the Year. That's another one that will. Nanad, you are the HeroShot Fan of the Award. It's either between him or my mom. It's got to be either.
Well, we're gonna both get customized pictures for them, autograph them, and send them to your mom. Okay. And but we have to send your mom's from like a USPS location.
Okay,
so it actually goes through the mail.
Absolutely,
all right,
absolutely.
From your loving son.
No, I'm gonna double up on that and say What We Do in the Shadows, and the reson why.
Dude, it's so funny.
It's so good, and like you can easily see why Taika Waititi was given the reins to Thor Ragnarok. Yeah, but I got this TV. I hooked up the Amazon Prime account, and I saw that movie, and I was like, oh, like let me check it. And dude, it is one of my go-to editing movies. I put on a movie when I'm editing, and that's one of my go-tos. It's that.
It's so funny.
Or it's Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters, Shaun of the Dead.
You love Shaun of the Dead.
I love Shaun of the Dead. Man, I love that movie. Hot Fuzz. Those are two. Hot
Fuzz is, I think, better than Shaun
those
of the
two
Dead.
kind of go hand in hand.
I like Hot Fuzz better.
And What We Do in the Shadows is on that list as well. So yeah, I do. Yeah, that's one movie that I could not recommend more is What We Do in the Shadows. It's so much fun. Like just the way it sort of flips the idea of like werewolves and vampires and that kind of stuff on its head, and even zombies and stuff like that.
I love when someone takes, like in a very comedic, dry way too, when they take something like supernatural, like really crazy, and they just make it boring. Because that's what that movie is.
Like, it's like The Office. Like it's like The Office if it was full of werewolves and vampires. It's so good. Yeah. If you get a chance, if you have Amazon Prime, which if you live in the United States, you probably do.
Is it FX or like TNT?
What? They're supposed to be doing the show?
Yeah, there's like a couple trailers for it out now.
What?
What We Do in the...
How did I miss that?
It's not going to be the same actors.
No,
but it's like what TD's working on it.
Dude, if there's trailers for the show,
there's like a couple very short trailers they put on Twitter. But I think it's going to follow the werewolves, I thought. Oh, through the first episode date. What channel is it on? Okay, FX. So I feel like it's gonna be good. FX has really good TV shows.
Yeah.
Casting characters. Yeah, so it's not gonna be any Doug Jones, who's actually Doug Jones may be playing. Doesn't he play like the Nosferatu one in the original? Doug Jones does a ton of.
No, it's not. It's a different guy, but I could easily see him playing.
Doug Jones played the sea monster in the first movie we saw together. In 2018.
The movie that I slept through.
The Shape of Water.
I always called it Book of Water.
He's in Batman Returns as Thin Clown, Clown in Office, Long John Number 2, Motherbug, Pencilhead. I actually want to go through his bibliography or filmography one day.
Bibliography.
Oh, he was Abe Sapien in Hellboy.
Right.
Great role. I actually love Abe Sapien in that one.
And he played the voice in the second one. He didn't do the voice for the first one.
Really?
He was the body of the Silver Surfer.
Sounds the same to me.
For this, the voice is very similar. He like the not because this is almost prior to motion capture, but he's like the stand-in for the Silver Surfer that they did for the Fantastic Four movie. So
Amphibian Man.
Oh,
but yeah, so sorry, but I think that's what we do in the Shadows TV show coming out. That's going to be great. We'll have to do some sort of like review or thing with that.
Yeah, we cannot recommend what we do in the Shadows enough. If you have Amazon Prime, please do us a favor.
That's such
and
an
check it out.
underappreciated comedy.
Love that movie.
People just don't know about it. That's the issue too.
Yep.
Like it's not like people hate it. It's just people don't know about it.
As we proceed to give you what you need, we move to the for the category of Best Actor, and I have a couple of honorable mentions here, a couple of nominations, if you will. Obviously, first of all, are any of those yours?
Yes, actually, I don't have any runner-ups.
Okay,
but yes, it is actually.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
And it's gonna be hard to talk about that without spoiling it, but
yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah. For me, this one was tough. It came down to two for me.
Is that your top one?
Yeah.
Man, good choice.
Yeah.
Actually, all three excellent choices.
Yeah. For me, dude, it came down to two options.
They could have been my runner-up. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it came down to two options for me. Michael B. Jordan was so fantastic in Black Panther. By far, probably my favorite part of the movie. One of the better villains that Marvel has.
He takes that movie from being potentially a 5 to like a 9.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, he carries
it's
that
so
movie.
Fantastic. And I mean, the movie's been out for a while now. Such a shame to lose the character. Obviously the character does not make it to the end of the movie, but what he does in that movie is so fantastic. And I hate that I haven't gotten a chance to see Apollo 2 or Creed 2 yet, because I hear that movie is fantastic.
Yeah.
And Michael B. Jordan is like super talented, man, and he killed it in Black Panther. But unfortunately for me, there's one actor that, in my opinion, stood out above the rest in taking this role and just absolutely making it his and making it something that I honestly will, when I think about characters and what they mean to me from movies, like this is something that's going to stick with me for a while. And that's Josh Brolin's performance as Thanos. Like, I know it's probably the easy answer. It's something that maybe some people might even say that it doesn't technically count because it's a motion capture performance.
Well, no, I would say every time Andy Serkis has played Caesar in Planet of the Apes has been one of the best roles of the year.
I rewatched part of the last Planet of the Apes movie. This is a little side tangent here. I really think that movie would have been nominated for Best Picture if it had not been a movie full of apes, of CGI.
Like, you think if it was like
human
actors?
If it was human actors,
dude, it's such a good movie.
I feel like that movie would be nominated for Best Picture. But
that's a very emotional movie.
God,
too.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. But in my opinion, Josh Brolin, in his portrayal of Thanos, like, it took Thanos from being that character that we saw at the end of the original Avengers movie, and the guy from the comics, that from the Infinity Gauntlet storyline in the Marvel comics, sort of like the big purple guy that's sort of like, oh, he's kind of like Darkseid, but he's a little bit different. Took him to one of, in my opinion, the greatest film villains in history. And just to say the word villain is it almost doesn't do him justice, because the way the emotion and just all he puts into that performance, it creates one of the greatest characters, in my opinion. One of the better parts of Infinity War, maybe one of the better characters from Infinity War.
Yeah, in a movie full of just of stars on their own, whether it's the actors or the actual characters, he stands above the rest, which is kind of impressive. And it's his movie too, so I mean, as he should. But Josh Brolin as Thanos lives up to the 10 years that we had to build up to of the character himself.
I just go to, dude, some of those because he gives a couple of monologues in the movie. If you think about it, just the way he sort of like delivers them, and like the way
it was beautiful.
The way he, it's not just speaking. I can't even think of the best way to put this. It's like he has lived that life as that character, and he's really trying to get his point across. And it's just the way he sort of delivers those lines that it's just it makes for one of the.
He feels comfortable in the role, like he feels like he was meant for that role.
It's insane.
Much better than Cable.
How yeah, and Cable, I actually very much like Cable from.
Cable is fine. I think Deadpool 2 suffers from a story issue, I think.
But for me, man, best actor of 2018, the Shotty goes to Josh Brolin for his role as Thanos. So, what say you, Mr. MCU?
So,
I keep calling you that because you said in the last podcast you wanted to be Mr. MCU.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Thank you. I forgot about that. So, a couple honorable mentions. I won't get into them too much. But one, of course, Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt in Mission Impossible Fallout.
Very good.
He continues. He's, 56 now or something?
I think he's roughly about 64, I thought.
It wouldn't surprise me, honestly.
I'm joking.
He continues. He's the best action star on the planet. He truly is. He's still that way. The way he does all of his own stunts. But yeah, sorry. That's for another time. But Tom Cruise, I think John Krasinski as whatever the guy's name is in A Quiet Place, incredible.
Oh man, so good.
Such a good role. That entire story, the way his story wraps up and everything is incredible.
If we had done Best Director, I think he probably would have taken it.
You know what? Honestly, that may be my Best Director. Should we just go ahead and say Shotty for Best Director?
Yeah, Shotty, Best Director, John Krasinski.
It's you, John Krasinski.
You're the one.
Duncan's gonna take this part out and tweet it at John Krasinski. It's you. You're welcome. It's a digital award, so you don't get a real one.
Yeah, it's fully 100% digital.
Fully 100% digital. But yeah, so my best
Lee Abbott was his name in that movie.
Lee Abbott. Okay. Lee Abbott. Man, that entire cast is incredible. So the kids are great. That movie's actually is on another. Never mind. So my best actor, I'm going with Bradley Cooper in A Star Is Born as, what's his name again? Jackson Maine. Which I'm not a huge fan of the name of the movie, but
see, I think it's a perfect
I like the first name
Jackson,
but Maine is like, it does sound like a country singer.
It does sound like a country singer. Jackson Maine.
His last name's the name of like a state, which definitely sounds like very American.
Yeah.
Like my name's Duncan, South Dakota, you know.
My name is Billy.
My name is Billy, Florida.
My name is Billy. Oh God, Bill. I can't.
My name is Jefferson, Hawaii. But no. So, yeah, Bradley Cooper in that role, man. It's such a cool Bradley Cooper role because he usually plays kind of like a smart-assy type guy, like who's closed off from people emotionally. He takes that in like a different twist in this movie because he still kind of is that way, but the way he plays off of Sam Elliott, his older brother, the way he has all this, you can tell Bradley Cooper is carrying pain this entire movie.
Oh yeah.
And it's so beautifully done. And it's like he directed this movie, so I think obviously he could do a lot more. It was his first movie he directed, correct?
I'm pretty sure it was, yeah.
So it's like, man, this movie is just like, it's such a heavy movie, like I've said, but he does such a wonderful job with his character. There's a couple scenes, and I won't spoil the scenes, but I will say, what was it, the Grammys, right, that they're at? Or is it it's not like...
It's supposed to be the Grammys, yeah.
Yeah, like the Grammy scene is, I think, one of the best scenes of the year. When you have the context for it, at least.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good. He plays such a cool range. The opening of that movie, kind of how... Because the movie's not big, necessarily. There's not large scale with a lot of it. But the way that the movie opens, and it's like, it is kind of smaller scale in his world, and then his world just like blows up.
Do you know that he's in The Joker? He's going to be in that Joker movie.
Oh, because of Todd Phillips, probably. Him and Todd Phillips because of The Hangover.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, God, I hope he's playing Jackson Maine. But no, Bradley Cooper, I know, I think he may be nominated for actor and director in the Oscars, at least actor. This guy should get it, man. Him and Lady Gaga killed it in this movie. I'm super high on A Star Is Born. I really am. The more I think about it and the more I get away from it, the more I want to watch it. So,
it's funny just to think about that movie, and this is something interesting that I thought. That movie, it's the fourth remake of that particular movie.
And I didn't know that until after I saw the movie.
But it's interesting to see how, dude, it's been like 7 years that they've been trying to make that movie. And just to list off, they originally had Clint Eastwood attached to direct, and Beyonce was going to take the female role. But it went into development hell for several years. Christian Bale, Leonardo DiCaprio, Will Smith, Tom Cruise.
Dude, Jay-Z and Beyonce doing A Star Is Born would have been really cool.
Yeah, that actually would have been very
That'd be
interesting.
a cool take on it.
We're all of those actors were also mentioned to play the lead in that particular movie.
This movie, like, it actually feels like a documentary. It's so well done to me because everything feels possible.
I was trying to find if Bradley Cooper's directed anything before. I don't think he has. So that's just the way he knocked it out of the park on that first movie is interesting. But I will say I will give the slight upper hand to John Krasinski.
John Krasinski is amazing in A Quiet Place. It's a shame Sam Elliott didn't get nominated for Best Supporting Actor because I think he does a great job in
Place. I was thinking the same thing. If we had done like a supporting thing, he would. He
I
probably
didn't think about doing that. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. It's so funny because me and my folks were watching the movie a couple of days ago.
Oh, Star Is Born. They watched it too.
Yeah,
did they like it?
And we all loved it.
We're like, why is this in Korean, Duncan? Was it Korean, did you say?
It was Korean subtitles across the bottom. No, it's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine. But it's so funny.
Fine. Why are you saying it'll be fine?
Hearing him talk in the movie, my mom was like, he sounds like Sam Elliott. Like, why is he doing a Sam Elliott impression? And then, of course, about halfway through the movie, you find out that Sam Elliott's his brother. Mm-hmm. And then you find out that he is intentionally intentionally tries to sound that way because of how much he idolizes his brother so much. And they also get the impression that his brother, that Sam Elliott attempted to start a career in music himself, and it didn't work out.
Even the stories there. Oh my God, we need a Star Wars cinematic universe.
So good.
Really good movie. And what's his name plays Lady Gaga's dad that you noticed at the end?
Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah, Andrew Dice Clay.
He did not look like himself. It was so funny. I texted you after the movie was over, and I was like, Andrew Dice Clay was Lady Gaga's dad in this movie, and he was like, yeah, and Bradley Cooper was the guy.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
In case you didn't notice. So as we jump from Best Actor, we now go into Best Actress for 2018. What did you have listed for your best actress?
I don't have any honorable mentions.
Gotcha.
The only reason I had some for actors is because you mentioned a couple people and it made me think of stuff.
Yeah.
My best actress, and this is a movie that came out limited release at the tail end of last year, like last week of December or something. Came out wide release like first week of January, maybe even early February.
Gotcha.
I don't think I saw it until February. Margot Robbie in I, Tonya, which I think is one of the coolest movies I've ever seen. Like, I genuinely mean that. That's a must-see movie that I think a lot of people just never get to see.
Too.
Yeah. Dude, it is such a cool movie. The way it's shot, it kind of is like a little bit like The Office because they're actually being interviewed. At points.
Yeah, a little bit.
So it's shot like a faux documentary almost. Margot Robbie, and like she plays Tanya Harding from like when she's like 12 or 13 all the way through like, modern day. And like, it's really cool how she like plays her throughout so long. You realize how, and I remember hearing about, the whole Tanya Harding incident with what's her name or whatever, the other ice skater growing up, but I was so
Maria
little.
Sharapova.
Yes.
I don't know.
It's not.
Maria
Sharapova
like that, right? Is a tennis player.
Isn't it Shriver? I don't know, whatever. But it's just like, I remember hearing about it when I was really little, but in like my parents referencing it, it's like one of the biggest things to happen in the 90s, but it's just like getting to watch it. I was like, there's no way this was real. And it's like all of that, like, for some stuff is dramatized, of course, but I'm like, this story happened. And I think it's incredible because it's so interesting and just how like messy everything was and like how trashy she is.
Nancy Kerrigan.
Like Tanya Harding was like super trashy, like white trash, like And it's like she would tell you now, like, yeah, I am, like, it's whatever, like, get off my lawn type of person. But
Get out of my life,
dude. Have you seen this movie yet?
Oh yeah, I saw it, Tanya.
Okay, cool. I think Margot Robbie's already an incredible actress. Man, she destroyed it in that movie. Like, she's really good. She was Tanya Harding, like, really good.
I really like that one a lot. It's something that I didn't consider because that one was a little bit funny how the release of it, because I don't think I actually saw it until I saw it earlier this year, but I know that technically it's a 2017 release. But hey, this is the internet. There really are no rules, and we're gonna roll with it. For me, there were several actresses that I considered for taking this award for Best Actress. Obviously, both performances and A Star Is Born were very good. Lady Gaga kills it. The only thing for me that I thought was a bit strange, and I don't take this away.
Is Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange your favorite actress of the year?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
No. Good one. But the only thing that it was kind of weird about Lady Gaga's performance, and I can't take this away from her, is she was kind of playing a version of herself.
For sure, yeah.
But I can't take that away from her because she still kills it, and I just like I don't know.
Is this your runner-up, or is
this is a runner-up?
Okay.
But she absolutely kills it, and she does a fantastic job, even if it is slightly similar to her. I mean, I would assume it's kind of it's a mirror image of how her career has also gone for herself. She didn't marry a famous singer and get famous off of that. She did it off of her own talent.
Well, I think like eventually her personality is pretty close to
right.
How
Dude,
she
is so fantastic in that movie. I cannot understate. I told you, I really bought into the fact that I know that Bradley Cooper's married, but like I really bought into the fact that they were a couple. Like you really believe that they are a couple. For me also, Jamie Lee Curtis from Halloween, dude.
Oh yeah,
I thought she did an amazing job. You know, the movie is
Laurie Strode.
The
right?
Maury is whatever. The movie is whatever. I said Maury. The movie is whatever, but I thought she did a fantastic job as Laurie Strode from Halloween. But for me, this is a movie that I just watched this last night, so it's kind of fresh on my brain for the first time. Maybe I'm a little bit of a prisoner of the moment, but what Toni Collette was able to do from the movie Hereditary, which came out earlier this year,
I gotta watch it.
was
How did you watch it?
It's on Amazon Prime. It just came on Amazon Prime like 2 days ago. Kind of. Yeah, so. But dude, Toni Collette takes this movie and she absolutely kills it. She plays sort of a woman who has lost her mother, unfortunately loses a child, and she...
Oh, see, I didn't know that. I guess you're not spoiling anything because I don't know what child.
Yeah. And she becomes so hysterical from the loss and her attempts to try and somehow bring about some sort of closure to the fact that of the loss of her child, that she does a really good person, like
she's a great actress.
Someone at the end of her wit, she's at her rope's end.
The funny thing is, I've only ever seen one trailer for that movie, and I assume the movie, and I'm probably totally wrong, the movie is about the grandma dying and the daughter of Tony's character is like special needs, right? And she kind of, and that for some reason
they don't ever make it apparent, but
I felt like the grandma was somehow like reincarnated into the daughter, but that's what I got from the trailer. But I'm probably totally wrong, right? I mean, I don't know. I guess
you're not 100% wrong. I'm not going to say what you're right on and what you're wrong on. There are a few things there that kind of
Tony
hit and
is
miss
in the movie.
She is very much in the movie, and
there is a grandma.
She kills it, man.
Literally.
She and kind of multiple. The movie is it definitely is going on my list as one of my favorite movies of the year.
Wow.
It's a movie that I was dying to see in theaters, and I just never got a chance to.
Same.
And the fact that it's now on Amazon Prime, I watched it immediately, and I loved it. I love horror movies. I don't know if it's going to go down as like a horror classic, but in my opinion, it invokes a lot of the same
people love this movie when it came
out. That even go back to sort of classic horror movies like The Exorcist and things like that. It's It's so strange. It's so surreal. Sometimes you can't tell what's real and what's not. Characters are losing their minds. They're sort of dragged into madness in one way or another. And Toni Collette is at the front of that, and she absolutely kills it. So yeah, my Shottie for Best Actress goes to Toni Collette for her character Annie Graham from Hereditary.
That's awesome. I need to watch it.
There you go. Absolutely.
Now, do you think? And I guess you would probably say no, but do you think she gets the award from you a little bit more because it's a movie you've just seen?
Maybe a little bit. I'm not going to sit here and say that the fact that I just watched the movie last night that it's not fresh in my brain. But it seems to be that the response to this movie is very across the board. Like there are several people that it's their favorite movie of the year, with her sort of leading the charge. She is very much the main character of the movie.
Absolutely.
And it's fantastic. It's a fantastic horror movie. If you're into that kind of stuff, I could not recommend it enough. If you're a fan of horror and did not get a chance to check out Hereditary in the theater, do yourself a favor and check it out on Amazon Prime, because it's now streaming and you can do it that way, and it is fantastic. But I figured from here, if you'd like, we could jump into our nominations for Best Movie of the Year.
Oh, we're not doing Best Animated or Best Pop Culture Moment first?
Oh, I forgot. I forgot about those, or I guess I didn't see those on the list.
Oh, wow. Wait, have you not done those?
No, I didn't do those.
No.
But
I'm sorry. Was that me?
No,
maybe I added them
I
after
remember
and I
now.
forgot about it.
I remember you saying that, but
we're gonna have the Best Animated Movie. It's gonna be the same one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's rewind a little bit. Let's get into Best
I'm so sorry.
Okay. No, it's fine. I forgot about it. That's my fault, man. So Best Animated, there are 3 movies that definitely pop into my head right away. I think there were 3 fantastic animated movies this year.
Which ones?
Incredibles 2. Wreck-It Ralph.
Oh yeah, Wreck-It Ralph 2, yeah.
Is fantastic.
With Gord.
Love both of those movies.
Gord.
But I think both of us are on the same page. The best animated movie of the year, and also the movie that I think will win the Oscar for Best Animated Movie of the Year, is Into the Spider-Verse.
Absolutely.
It's go back and watch our review of Into the Spider-Verse. You and I gush about it for like 9 minutes. It's so freaking good. And go back, I mentioned it earlier, a movie that I was not expecting much out of, but man, it is so good. Definitely one of my top 5 movies of the year. So fantastic. And even I saw a lot of people, for us, you're pulling up Gord's.
I know, I'm trying not to
Disney
giggle
page.
already. Like I feel like I'm gonna get the little giggles.
But for a lot of people, I saw on their like best of 2018 lists that was that a kite or is that a book?
It's you know what?
I think it's a book.
I don't care what it is. Gord can hold whatever he wants.
I saw that on a lot of people's lists that they were actually even putting Into the Spider-Verse above Infinity War on their favorites of 2018.
Yeah, and I think partially that is because it's the end of the year and it's a good movie, so people always tend to take the movies that come out at the end of the year. Like how you picked Toni for like Best Actress for Hereditary. Mm-hmm. The stuff like that happens quite a bit. Like that's why I think Black Panther won't win an Oscar, because it's too far gone at this point.
See, I disagree with that. I could easily see Black Panther being nominated for Best Picture, and I can also see it nominate Ryan Coogler for Best Director.
You think he would win Best Picture?
I don't think it would win, but
but they're nominated. It's nominated for both. Did Coogler get nominated Best Director? Yeah.
I didn't know the Oscar nominations were out yet.
I thought they were out.
There's still movies coming out.
They're out, dude. I thought.
I don't. There's awards coming. There's like.
But they don't wait until December 31st.
No, but they don't. I thought the nominations came out like next month.
Yeah, but I thought that some movies had already been.
I think people can make the assumption that is the case, but.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. So yeah, both of us are on the same page. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is the best animated movie of 2018. It's so good.
We've talked about it a lot.
It'll blow your mind visually, story-wise, character-wise. Even the villain is fantastic. It's there's really nothing that I could even point out that was a flaw with that movie. It's basically
It's a really fun movie. Yeah, I had a friend text me, not text me, but Snapchatted me a couple days ago, maybe this week, last week, whatever. That she was taking her son to see Aquaman, and I was like, "You need to go see Into the Spider-Verse." She's like, "I want to see both." I'm like, "Yeah, but you should have saw Into the Spider-Verse first,
dude."
Because once you go take a kid to see one movie, you may not go back for a while. So,
dude, for me, there have been several people that have been like, "Okay, I want to go see one movie in December. What should I see?" And I've told everyone to go see Spider-Verse.
I would say Spider-Verse first, then Bumblebee, then
Aquaman,
and I'd probably even actually say I want to see Vice still.
Yeah,
I'll wait on that.
Yeah. I like this next category though that you mentioned, best pop culture moment of 2018, and I'm going to let you take the lead on this one because I'm very interested to see what you have to say. I have mine in mind. I had already thought of something, so going ahead and I'll let you do you.
I'm going to say this. This is almost like not like a selfish thing, but it's a personal thing. But my favorite pop culture moment of 2018 was getting with all you guys and going to see Infinity War for the first night, and then going into Friday to see it. That third I have it written down as a Infinity War Thursday/Friday. One, because a couple of us met up before, that day. I planned it as my favorite day, right? So I bought
48
15
hours
movie tickets to Malco, and originally I was going to make sure that there was 15 seats around me, so I wouldn't have kids sitting by me or anything. But I was like, why not?
They do seating now, so you won't have to worry about that next time.
True.
Or what reserve seating.
Reserve seating, yeah. But so it was really, really cool. I went and did the I did the salt tank therapy thing that day just to try and relax.
Did you did the dark thing?
Yeah, the dark tank thing,
sensory
the water
deprivation.
Yeah, I did that.
You did that?
Yeah, I did that day.
I've always wanted to try that. I was
trying to chill out and stuff.
What was it like?
It was crazy. I think you should go do it. We should
have a
podcast about
hallucinate?
it. That's another too much to say.
Yes.
Topic.
Yes.
You should go do it one time. And I didn't hallucinate. I felt like I didn't relax enough because it was my first time.
You're pretty tense individual.
I'm very tense. So I was thinking, and then also is honestly the most anxious day of my life to this point.
Were you naked in it?
I wore briefs, but you can go in it naked. But I still felt weird doing that. But yeah. Anyways, we'll get into that later. I think you should try it. But
God, I feel like it'd be scary.
Dude, it was terrifying.
It's gonna be kind of scary.
I got water in my eyes, and there's so much salt, it just burns.
Oh, well, that would ruin it.
It ruined a little bit of it. I did the 90 minutes one, but anyways,
you might have to wear. You might need to put on some goggles.
That's actually probably a good idea. So I did that. We went to Brookhaven Pub. Is that what it's called? Did you meet us there or no?
I had to work that day, so I didn't meet y'all until later.
It was slightly hectic, but one of my favorite parts about it, I'd be amiss if I didn't mention. One of my favorite parts was Isaac had his daughter a week before, and he still made it to go see Infinity War.
Yeah, yay for Isaac.
Yay for Isaac. That was one of my favorite things of this year, is that I got to actually watch Infinity War with Isaac opening night. So that meant a lot. But yeah, everyone being there, getting to watch and experience it with you guys, all the moments that we're all laughing at the same time, crying at the same time, silence in the theater, just being hey, this is I can tell you who I've seen every MCU movie with. And I've seen every single one Thursday night except for the first Iron Man I saw on Friday night. But I can sit there and tell you I saw it with this person, this person, this person, and there was such a vast group of people that I know and how I know them going to see that movie. It was really cool. And it was just cool afterwards, some of the guys I work with, you, Garrett and all that, hey, that was really fun. We need to do that again for the next one, or we need to do something like that again for a big movie. And it's that was a really cool special moment, because for watching movies, and I say this all the time, I don't mind going to watch movies with people, but I say going to see a movie is not a social experience, but it's a moment you share that's extremely social, and it's extremely intimate in a sense, because you're getting lost in something with someone else, even though you're both not talking about it at the time. Hopefully not. So I just really loved watching it with you guys. It was really cool. I don't know. That's my favorite pop culture moment of the year, because I will never forget that.
Also, it's funny, it's a pop culture moment, but it's also just a moment in time that we'll all be able to remember personally for for the rest of our lives. Because that was one of the better movie experiences I've ever had, just seeing it with all you guys. and
going
then
to record right after, doing like a review outside in the parking lot,
and then doing and then getting to see it the next day.
Oh my God.
in IMAX.
Getting to watching an IMAX with you, and we're
Though we
watching
did sit a little close, which I won't complain. I'm not going to complain about, but we did sit.
It was tough way to get a seat there, but
yeah, it was.
Getting to watching
before,
it, we went to the 12 p.m. showing that Friday, so there was a lot of people who hadn't seen it yet. So getting to watch it with an audience where I would say at least 80% of them hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah,
I was just watching around the room for
very
a lot
surprised
of the scenes.
how that theater was full, and
At
I was
12,
I was like, dang, noon on a Friday, all these people should be in work or school.
And it was like getting to experience, like, I can't wait to do that again. I've already taken off work that Thursday, Friday for Avengers Endgame, because I always want to say Avengers 4 now. Avengers Endgame, because I'm like, I can't wait to do a Thursday night showing and then turn around and see it Friday at noon just to watch people's reactions, because I kind of like watching the reactions of stuff. So even though I think
maybe our luck will continue, man, and we got to see Spider-Verse early, we got to see Bumblebee early, and we got to see Aquaman early.
I could have seen Infinity War early, but I remember I was like, I wanted to see it with you guys for the first time.
I remember you talking about it. I didn't think that ever was like a real
that
thing.
Wednesday I could have went and seen it. Yeah.
That's so cool.
But I was like, you know what, dude? I was like, I got all these tickets. I'm going with people. I want to see it for the first time with them. So
there you go. So for me, that's so fantastic, that moment there.
It was.
And
I loved that moment.
I like that you went sort of personal with it. I did not go so personal with it. I went for sort of like movie.
This movie came out with a cool steelbook.
Dude, have you guys seen the Solo steelbook? It's pretty great. No.
Oh, the one with the Millennium Falcon?
Yeah.
The Infinity War one's not that good.
The Infinity War one's actually not that great.
The back sucks.
Yeah.
It should have just been the A logo. They should have done all three steelbooks with the A logos how they are on the posters.
There are Avengers Marvel designed OtterBox iPhone cases that look cooler than the
absolutely
the Infinity War steelbook cover. Anyways, for me, this does deal with Marvel, and this is a moment earlier this year that I thought is going to sort of turn the tides for big time blockbuster movies going forward. And this process is still going on, but by all intents and purposes, this is going to go through within the first 6 months of 2019. And that is the sale of all of the Fox properties over to Disney.
Oh, nice choice. I didn't even think about that.
And you know me. So I fought this for a long time. I was not for this for a long time.
You're skeptical of it. Yeah.
I had Logan fresh on my mind, the original Deadpool fresh on my mind.
You were high on that Logan, yeah.
Man, I loved Logan so much. And I was not for this. I was pretty publicly, verbally against this.
Pretty. That's a Curb Your Enthusiasm reference.
Yeah. But I have since, dude, I am on the getting the Fox characters back to Disney train 100%, and I think that's an important moment. And I'm just looking here at a very recent article talking about sort of the timeline of events that we can expect for next year. So the deal is expected to close at the end of next month.
Right? Yeah.
And according to Kevin Feige, we've been told it's looking very, very good and could happen in the first 6 months of next year, 2019. The notion of the characters coming back is great. It's nice when a company that created all these characters can have access to all those characters. It's unusual not to, but in terms of actually thinking about it and actually planning things, we haven't started that yet. So, man, I just think that this is where the MCU is going. I mean, it's pretty it's going to be very interesting what Marvel decides to do with Deadpool and the X-Men characters and the Fantastic Four. But I am on board, man. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what the next 2 or 3 years, when we start to see these kind of these wheels that are being put in motion now for the next few months.
The cheese being spun, as they call it sometimes.
Yeah, and where this leads us movie wise for the next 2, 3, 4, however many years,
decades.
So yeah, exactly. So that's it for me. The deal between Fox and Marvel, in my opinion, is not only the biggest pop culture moment of this year, but I think it's a moment that we are going to reflect on for years and years to come. We're going to one day think back and look like, remember when all these characters belonged to Fox, and we got like that weird Wolverine movie. We got those like 2 kind of weird Wolverine movies, and then we got Logan that was pretty good, but then we got like that weird like Age of what's that third X-Men movie called?
Age of Apocalypse. Oh
Age,
God, poor
Age of Apocalypse. Yeah, is one, but no, I'm thinking of God, what's
The Last Stand?
The Last Stand. That's what I'm thinking of. And then and then Dark Phoenix is not looking like it's going to be all that
When
great.
is that out? April?
I
May?
can't even keep up anymore, man. New Mutants, I don't even know if...
New Mew?
Those movies will come out.
And it's only called Dark Phoenix now. It's not called X-Men Dark Phoenix. Remember that?
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Yeah, they took X-Men off the thing, which is crazy because you feel like they'd be like, it's X-Men. You love them. Like they want to put that brand recognition there, but they pulled it away. Yeah. Fox did, which is interesting.
Very interesting indeed. But that is, the biggest pop culture
June
moment.
7th. All right. Well, good for you.
What is August is for Dark Phoenix?
Right.
Or New Mutants?
Right after my birthday, yeah. New Mew.
New Mew.
That's what I'm going to call it.
All right. Well, all of that has now brought us to 2 very important categories for us. What I hope we could do here is do our awards for best movie and then favorite movie.
Oh man, I still haven't picked what my favorite movie would be.
So you ask me or Eric, and you say, hey, best movie is your favorite movie, right? No, that's not technically true. When you can, in my opinion, just because a movie is my favorite movie does not make it the best movie of the year.
Yeah, 100%.
And for me, I had several written down as best movie. A Star is Born. So it's so fantastic. So I almost think of this as more, when I say best movie, it almost makes me go into a mind of just like the technicality of them, of what they were able to achieve on the screen. As far as like just visually, maybe it's a really great performance. Maybe it was really well directed. Whatever the case may be, there are several here that I had written down. Hereditary, obviously, is fantastic. Infinity War, I know it's, not, it might not be, a lot of people disagree that it's technically the best movie of the year, but in my opinion, like my enjoyment of that movie sort of like that brings it up to that sort of status for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
But for me, man, the Shotty for best movie is going to A Quiet Place.
Nice. I like that.
A Quiet Place.
That's really stood the test of time. I mean, I know it's only a year, but like it came out very early this year. It came out of nowhere, and it's like I still feel like people talk about it.
I have to say,
Bird Box, man.
Yeah, Bird Box.
Bird Box is your favorite movie of the year.
God, I did not like Bird Box. I'm sorry. Like I did not like Bird
How
Box.
How much did you not like?
I very
1 to
much.
5 real quick. What is it?
Man, like a 2 maybe.
Okay, I think I gave it a 3 out of 5, which
2.
I would probably pull
I
it
did
down.
not
like
like Bird Box whatsoever. It was so dumb. But no, A Quiet Place. What really stood out to me with A Quiet Place is the fact that there's really just so with a movie called A Quiet Place, the movie's pretty darn quiet. There's not there's not a lot said. I don't recall there being a lot of like music and scenes that like.
No, they purposely did that because they wanted you to feel like you were deaf. With a lot of it.
Like the feeling in the theater when we were watching that movie for the first time, and how there was no sound in the theater. Like no one made it.
Is this what it's like when people watch silent movies?
Exactly, dude. Like there was not, the entire audience was incredibly quiet. There was no sort of noises being made, no rustling, nobody popping caps off of drinks or digging into a bag of candy or popcorn or whatever. It was dead silent. Everybody was sort of like that suspense was just building and building and building, and everybody was on the edge of their seat. And that is a theater experience that I am not sure maybe until the sequel comes out, that I won't experience again, that I may never experience again. And in my opinion, the fact that in today when I complain so much about theater experiences and people talking, people making noise and stuff like that, people being rude in the theater. The fact that we went to that movie and it was dead silent for the majority of the film and everybody was paying attention, like, I can really appreciate the fact that that movie was able to do that in this time where that's such a rare thing to come by. So that, for me, Quiet Place is the best movie of 2000.
Oh, best? We're not doing favorite right now?
That was the best for me.
Oh, okay. So Quiet Place is one of my runner-ups. You were talking about favorite, so that's why I was trying to
I was just trying to make the distinction.
Oh, okay. So best movie, I have A Quiet Place as my third runner-up. Not necessarily, no particular order for third and second.
Right.
All the same reasons you said. Second runner-up, I have Into the Spider-Verse. Because I do think cinematically it's one of the better movies.
It just looks like nothing you've ever seen before.
It's really cool, especially with something that's kind of like bland at this point that we've seen a lot.
Yeah.
My best movie of the year, I think, Mission Impossible Fallout.
Wow.
It's action-packed, and like I said earlier, the way Tom Cruise still does his own stunts, the way he wants to do, like, he did like 40-something Halo jumps to just get footage for the actual jump of the movie.
Right.
The way that, like, the helicopter chase, like, Henry Cavill had to, like, train to fly a helicopter by himself for those scenes. And this is all stuff you could easily do in CG and make it look good. Or you could easily have Henry Cavill sit in, and I'm sure there's some shots like this, you can easily have him sit in a green screen but in, like, a real helicopter and, like, shake around. Right. But it's like, they go all out for this, and Tom Cruise elevates all the actors, the directors he works with. He elevates the entire team around him to be like, no, this has to be real. Like, it feels like such an old film type of trick of like, all right, we really have to go do this stuff.
Yeah, we have to do it in camera.
This man like shattered his ankle or whatever,
right?
And like was like you can still see shots in it in the movie where he's doing it, but he wanted to get the perfect shot and he wanted to keep going. Like this, like the movie, the bathroom fight scene, like I said, the helicopter chase. Watching this movie in IMAX. Oh my God. And when I was watching it, I bought the 4K Blu-ray, which, you know, I don't buy physical too much, but I was like, I want to watch this the best way possible. When they open up like the hangar and he goes to jump and it's like any scene shot in IMAX in the movie, they do the IMAX ratio on your TV. So it takes up the entire screen instead of being like widescreen. Yeah. And you're like, oh yeah, this is why it's good. Like this is why. So it's like the movie's incredible. I'm honestly not, I like other Mission Impossibles more. Oddly enough, Mission Impossible Fallout, I have like 5 or 6 movies that got 5 out of 5s from me this year that came out this year.
Right.
Mission Impossible Fallout, I give a 4.5. Yeah, it's a 4.5 on my scale, but I do think it is the best movie this year. Like just the action scenes.
Yeah.
And it's so good. And because it's like the opening, even the opening 10 minutes, like there's like a really big plot twist. Dude, it's so... That movie, when I was sitting there watching it, I just wanted to, like, even more than Infinity War or anything, where Infinity War kind of drags you down a lot in the movie, Mission Impossible, there's so many cool scenes and parts and all that. There was, like, so many times I wanted to just jump up and be like, yes! Like, it's so... Like, it wanted me to... It, like, gave me energy.
Right.
Like, it's a very cool movie for that.
No, I wanted to say, you know, you mentioned giving it a 4.5 when there were several movies that you gave a 5 out of. I think that's the distinction there, man. There's a difference between a movie being technically the best versus your subjective opinion over what your favorite was. And yeah, man, I couldn't agree more. I loved Mission Impossible. Such a fun theater experience, especially seeing.
I'm so glad I watched the entire series for the first time before it came out.
See, that's something I have to do.
Watching the first trailer for the movie
is the reason why I watched them.
Oh, dude, you need to watch one right before this one because it actually ties into it a lot. Most of the movies don't really tie into each other.
Right.
No, but oh man, it's so good.
So with all of that said, you know, talking about best movies versus favorite movies. Let's get into our favorite movie of 2018. The big one.
What is it? What?
Oh, you don't like that?
Bum 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 bum.
Like what is that? A timpani. Dum 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 dum. Shotty. So I had a whole list here because.
For your favorite movie of the year?
I just listed off a bunch of things.
Okay. X gonna give it to you.
I saw Hereditary, loved it. Stars Born, loved it. Black Panther is obviously up there. It's in my top favorite movies of the year.
Dude, nada. It's like he knows what we're recording right now.
Yeah, I know. Dude, Solo for me. Solo is definitely in my top. If I were doing a top 10, Solo would be on there for me. I know a lot of people did not like Solo. But if I had to do, I'm gonna go top 3, and then I'll give the Shotty to my favorite movie of the year. And you and I mentioned, I think both of us have the same favorite movie of the year. But if I were to go just my favorites, top 3, A Quiet Place, Into the Spider-Verse for number 2, and then of course, I mean, what do you expect? My favorite movie of 2018 was Infinity War.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really not much else to say about that. I mean, it almost, based upon what I've looked at, like the like other big time reviewers and their lists of their favorite movies of 2018, it almost seems like uncool to make Infinity War like your favorite movie. Most people are like, oh, it's my 7th favorite movie of the year. Or whatever, but dude,
I mean, much like them, I do realize that the movie itself, if you want to critically or objectively look at it, it's a weaker movie than a lot because it relies on so much. But that's the point, and most movies don't do that, so that's not what we're conditioned to say. It's like watching The Defenders, but The Defenders isn't good. But it's like, yeah, you actually, that's something you should have to watch. Like, should I watch the other stuff before it? Yeah, you should actually. Like, I wouldn't want Andrew to watch Infinity War because I'd be like, you wouldn't understand it. So even if you think it's cool, you appreciate it on such a higher level the more you've seen MCU movies. So yeah, I think I kind of get it for these people because yeah, it's not supposed to be this standalone experience. It is like you do need to build up to it. But yeah, sorry, that's why I think it's okay that it's. I think it's okay that people are kind of a little bit colder on it than they were when it came out.
Right. I understand it's not technically the best movie of the year, but there's not another movie on this list that there are scenes in that movie that make me feel the way I do when I watch Infinity War.
Yeah, and oddly enough, and this is probably pretty big to say, but I don't have the same anticipation for Endgame as I do Infinity War.
I would agree with that.
And not in a bad way at all, but I feel like Infinity War was that, and they marketed it as that 10-year, this is it, this is the beginning of the end, if you want to call it that, maybe. But, it's there's just not that mysteriousness around it, even though Endgame, I think we're going to know much less going into it than Infinity War. It's just I'm not me, I was crazy about Infinity War, every day, but, and partially probably because I was like, I don't want to watch any of the trailers or read anything. But even now I'm kind of that way. I'll watch the trailers, but I'm not going to try to spoil myself. But yeah, it's like that anticipation isn't even half of what it was for Infinity War that it is for Endgame. So yeah, I like it. The movie lived up to the hype of what they've been trying to build for 10 years.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know. What else do you say, man? That, in my opinion, it's my favorite movie of the year. It's super rewatchable. Even, I've only seen it I've seen it 5 times, I think.
I've seen it under 20, but.
And I plan on watching, especially now that it's on Netflix, I plan on watching it as much as I possibly can. But yeah, for me, my favorite movie of 2018 is Infinity War. Nana Nana Boo Boo, stick your head in doo doo.
What is that? Where do you say that sometimes?
Oh, because like I was saying, there were so many people that were like, "Oh, it's not the best movie of the year." Yeah, it's not the best movie of the year, but it's my favorite.
Oh, it must be Midnight Right Now. Well, it can't be Midnight Right Now because there's only an hour things.
What?
I Am in the Future for You. Here it's 2019, and then he sent some fireworks.
It is, yeah, but it was midnight 2 hours ago over there.
I'm just putting back fireworks are cool.
All right, and to wrap up our first annual Shotty Awards, we thought it would be fun to jump into, and maybe
the Shotties.
Yeah, what did I say?
The Shotty Awards.
Did I say that? Oh, my bad. The Shotties. That we would talk about just real quick here, just some of our most anticipated movies of 2019.
Oh, multiples?
God. Did you want to do just one?
What's your most anticipated movie of 2019? Because there's, if we say our most anticipated movies of 2019, they're all going to overlap each other.
Okay,
to be honest,
that's
so let's
fine.
go.
That's fine. I'm gonna do
bar none.
I'm gonna do 2 honorable mentions.
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay. All right. So
what's your most anticipated movie? 3 of them.
Dude, it's so hard. It's so hard. Okay.
But do you have one that's definitively most anticipated?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So I am not mentioning Endgame because I'm not mentioning Endgame because that is almost in a category by itself. I am very much looking forward to that movie, but there actually are there's at least one that I'm looking forward to more.
I feel like we know what we're getting into with it, which I know we don't, but it does feel that way,
Yeah. I feel like, dude, even with the title, so many people knew that it was going to be called Endgame, and then they played it out for months.
It was supposed to be called Annihilation.
It was supposed to be called Annihilation. I know technically, and then they changed it.
Yeah, because someone on the internet said they changed it.
But dude, okay, so just real quick, just a couple that I'm really looking forward to for next year. Glass is one that I'm very much.
We get that like a month from this week.
Yeah, it's very quick.
That and Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out like the same week, I think.
Us, the next movie from Jordan Peele.
When is that out? Early, right?
Good question.
Isn't that like March?
That I think is March 15th, 2019.
Okay, yeah.
So
the Ides of March.
There you go. I don't know what that means.
From Julius Caesar. That's my favorite Shakespearean work. Beware the Ides of March. That's what the soothsayer told him. And it was because Julius Caesar was killed on March 15th. The Ides means the middle. Beware the Ides of March.
Okay. Well, there you go. There you come. There you go. Learning.
Remember, he got stabbed 23 times at De Brute.
No. Okay.
And
all right.
Brutus.
Also, Chapter 2.
Caesar.
It Chapter 2 is coming out next year. Which
It Chapter 2. That's good.
Very
That's
much. Very much looking forward to. But my most anticipated movie for 2019 is.
Oh, I wonder if we're gonna have the same thing.
I hope not. Star Wars Episode 9.
That's mine.
I freaking
Probably
knew it,
for two
dude.
very different reasons, though.
Well,
wow! I can't believe that we have the same one.
I think that that's so interesting, man. For me, what it is I think so you and I both really enjoyed Last Jedi.
Really, I
love Last Jedi,
and that's why I'm curious for this.
But
I really don't like Force Awakens.
I know that there are there's a lot of people out there that signed a petition to wipe that movie from the canon. I understand.
I think that was all the Russian trolls and stuff, honestly.
Well, I know there's a lot of people that don't like it. I am very interested to see what JJ does with this movie, because in a lot of ways it's a continuation, but as far as what we know, it's like the end. Like it's supposed to be the end, the period
the Skywalker saga.
of the Star Wars of the Skywalker story. And in my opinion, I think that trumps about even Endgame. And in my opinion, I think that idea in itself, that notion, trumps anything else that you can mention for 2019. It seems like a Herculean task to wrap up the Skywalker.
I can't believe they got J.J. Abrams doing it again.
I know.
Even though I think I like J.J. Abrams a lot.
It could have been Colin Trevorrow.
But true. I liked Rian Johnson's story and what he did.
Man.
I think it's funny too that you heard but right as soon as Last Jedi came out, they're like, no, like Rian Johnson and J.J. Abrams didn't really talk too much about like what they wanted to do from Force Awakens to Last Jedi, and now they're like, oh no, they totally were in touch with each other, and like they were already talking to each other about what you would do from Last Jedi to whatever the new one is called, and I was like, no, you guys didn't, because clearly you were so open about like we're just gonna wing it. Like,
right.
It doesn't seem like they have a long-term MCU type plan, which is crazy to me that they don't. But, I mean, I guess, though, it's a smaller world than the MCU in a weird way.
It is a small world, after all.
But, yeah, I have Star Wars, and not because out of, like, morbid curiosity, but I want to see what happens, because Last Jedi really is my favorite, pretty far up there. I would say Solo. Out of all the new ones, I think I would rather watch Solo again than Rogue One. Even though Rogue One's a better movie, I enjoy Solo a little bit. It's more fun.
I really enjoyed Solo. Like I know I don't get the hate for Solo. Like I never really understood that.
I feel like just like the Last Jedi hate, Solo hate was because people were like, "Hey, people don't like Last Jedi. People don't like Solo," and you're like, "Yeah, I don't like it either." And be like, "Why?" Because people online don't like it. Like it felt like it was just like a snowball effect of like, "Well, who?"
You could tell like when I talk to people, you
can't cite people's sources.
I would tell like people. I'd be like, "So what did you hate about Last Jedi so much?" And they're clearly saying something that they read online. You know what I mean? They're just like,
because this guy online said, he doesn't like it, or it's like, or like I heard a lot of people don't like it, so it must not be good or something. That's like, what?
Rely too much on like critics in order to help them form their own opinion. I think, especially when it comes to movies and stuff like that. Like that's the fun of movies is it not everyone's not supposed to like everything.
Exactly. It's but yeah, I want to see what Star Wars does.
Me too, man. And I'm just really excited to get back into that mode of you got a Star Wars movie coming in December. wrapping up the year. Like, I'm just excited. I personally think that one of the biggest missteps with Solo was putting it out in the middle of the summer. Like, less than
It couldn't have come out this December, though, man. It would have gotten swallowed.
That's true. That's very true. Now that we know that how the quality of Spider-Verse and Bumblebee and just the sheer numbers that Aquaman is doing, like, I think Solo probably would have been, yeah.
Also, they played it smart, and I remember reading a tweet from someone saying this, and it made sense. But they wanted more time to get people to like get over the whole like hate of Star Wars that hit after Last Jedi through Solo. Like, let's get these two out of the way because Solo is going to be divisive no matter what. And like get the bad taste out of people's mouths and like get people to be excited about Star Wars again.
Do you think that coming out like a month or so, less than a month after Infinity War, hurt Solo at all?
No, because I don't think that. No.
I mean, because most people...
Because it still didn't come around too much. There was, Solo? There was, like, a couple movies that, like...
I don't...
When did it come out this year?
Solo? I don't remember. I want to say...
Because remember, wasn't there, like, 3 or 4 weeks where it was, like boom, 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 boom. Like, every week there was, like, a big movie?
Yeah, there was. Like, kind of during the middle of the summer. Go to, like, May. I want to say it was May.
Because you had... Ooh, sorry. You gotta edit that out. Sorry. I get really like angry with stupid pop-ups like this.
You got pop-ups, popping up.
Well, I mean, it's on the iPad. It's not like a weird thing.
Yeah. Yep. That's interesting to see. But yeah, I think both of us are very much on the same page.
It smells so good in your house.
Thanks.
Your mom's cooking something, obviously. It smells very good.
Probably. But there's so many more movies coming out that I'm looking forward to. Not to in no particular order. Detective Pikachu, very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, I actually almost had that as mine because I'm like, man, we're finally getting a live action Pokemon.
God, dude, I'm so excited.
It's not
for
what
Detective
I wanted
Pikachu.
it to. It's not what I wanted it to be, to be honest. But
maybe this leads to that. You know what I'm saying?
This is a good test run.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino's next movie. I don't know. Are you a Tarantino fan?
I like Tarantino a lot. I'm not a big fan of the one everyone likes, Django Unchained. I think it's whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
I really like. I would say, Inglourious Bastards, Pulp Fiction, and Reservoir Dogs are my top 3. With Reservoir Dogs normally taking the first one. Solo was on Friday, May 25th. A week before that, you had Deadpool 2.
Yeah, that's right.
2 weeks before that, you had Infinity War. 3 weeks before that, you had Infinity War. And a week after that, you had... See, I thought there was a lot right around there. I mean, you had Incredibles. Fallen Kingdom came out like a month after. I guess it just felt like it was all really close. Sorry.
Yeah, it really did. But no, dude, the Joker movie.
I'm curious for that. I can't say
Joaquin
I'm like excited
Phoenix,
for it.
Toy Story 4.
That's another one. I think Toy Story 3 ended perfectly.
Yeah, that's very true.
I'm not for being one of my favorite franchises of all time. My favorite animated franchise of all time, at least. I'm not so sure I need it. I'm not so sure I want it.
Another one that I think is very important into what it stands for and to what it means to its particular universe is Shazam.
I'm actually really looking forward to Shazam.
I hope Shazam is awesome, but I think that but I mean, we've said the same thing for like the past 3 DC movies. It's like, it's all riding on this one. And is Wonder Woman 84 coming out next year, or is that 2020?
That's got to be 2020.
I think so.
Unless it's like November of next
I know
year.
it just wrapped shooting just like this past week. So
it could be like November of next year. I think that'd be a good idea. It should get it should be out like 2 or 3 weeks before Star Wars, which will be like what, December 19th, 20th, something like that.
I don't remember. Oh, starting to get a little tired. Anyways,
I know. I can't believe we're recording on New Year's Eve. Sorry to put a timestamp on this. Man, I can't believe it's only 5:45.
I know, dude. It feels like it's like 10 o'clock at night right now.
Oh, okay, it was supposed to be released on June 5th, 2020. They moved it up
to December 13th.
Oh, before, and then moved to November 1st, then moving. Wait, so it's been moved around quite a bit. Pushed. It was actually supposed to be like June 5th, 2020. Then they pushed it back to December 13th, 2019. Okay, I'm sorry. Originally December 13th, 2019. Then moved to November 1st, 2019. Then all the way back to middle of 2020. That's coming out too late, man. That's coming out way too late.
So it almost has ended up where it started, like because June 2020 is mid 2020.
No, it looks like originally it was December 13th was the first date. Second date was November 1st, so like a month before. Third date was 2020.
Yeah.
I don't think it started 2020. This reads kind of the opposite, where you read
yeah.
it like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
But I think you're more just.
Oh, we've got so
Wonder
many.
Woman immortal.
2019 is going to be a very interesting year. I think we've got some fantastic movies coming out. But you know what's funny? There's going to be those couple that just don't live up to expectation, that are not going to be good. We got lucky, I think, this year, man. Like,
yeah,
there's not a lot of movies that I really, really disliked. I did not like A Wrinkle in Time. Venom was whatever.
Are you more sour on Venom now the longer you go? It sounds like you're a little bit more sour on it.
Yeah, a little bit. Crimes of Grindelwald was not really what I expected it to be. And I mean, Aquaman was not what I expected it to be. But there were so many surprises. Bumblebee was fantastic. Spider-Verse was fantastic. There were so many really good, just like you said, Jurassic World 2 was really, really, really good.
There's Wreck-It Ralph 2 fan fiction.
Oh, nice. And
I've never read fan fiction, but it always sounds very
assuming,
dirty, so it sounds funny to me.
Oh, yeah. Dude, so you got to think that Ralph and Vanellope probably hook up, right?
Here we go. Oh, wow, that was an interesting backstory you have there, Vanellope, Amber said. Yeah, and your best friend, name Ralph or something, he seems to be a nice guy, Sophia said. Of course he may be a bad guy, but he still has a heart in him, Vanellope said. It should be on him, technically. I suggest we should go somewhere else, Amber said. Okay, now let's go, Vanellope exclaimed. Okay. The three girls are having a talk walk.
Eric gets on to me
Sorry.
for diverging.
When do I get on you for diverging?
I'm joking.
I don't think I do.
You get on to me for being divergent, you know? All right, man. Well, thanks so much to all of the fantastic movies that came out this year.
Thank you, movies.
Thank you. Dude, sometimes I start sentences and I just don't know where they're going.
Well, that's why I try to jump in, like, we'll play it off as a joke. Like,
what I meant was like nominees.
That's right. Me and Duncan planned that sentence the entire time.
I was thanking the nominees is where I was going with that. And I could not think of the word nominee.
John Krasinski, you got Best Director of the 2018 Shotties.
So how does it feel?
Please send that to him.
How does it feel?
I think you got to edit that out. We got to tweet it.
All right. That sounds good. All right. So
John,
as we wrap
Mr.
up
Krasinski.
2018, I thought this would be very interesting. So like the first week of 2018, you, me, Will from Powers Not Included, Ernie from Blurred Without Fear, and Garrett, formerly of HeroShot.
Formerly?
Not formerly.
He's kind of like the Force Ghost of HeroShot.
He's here in spirit. Unfortunately, Garrett, moved to the other side of the state. And I do think that he'll be back from time to time. It's kind of hard to get him around these days. So we did
So we're going to Knoxville.
So, yeah, we're moving to Knoxville.
We
did a movie draft. We each picked 4 movies at the very first week of the year, the idea being that once the movies are released, that we would sort of tabulate the critic rating and the audience rating from Rotten Tomatoes into one number, and then whoever has the highest number wins. And it's so interesting to go back and look at some of these movies that we picked, not knowing what was going to be good, and then expecting certain things to be good, and then being disappointed. So I'm going to do this in order from lowest to greatest, like the bottom of the barrel to the tippity top here. So it's my freaking contest, and I came in 5th place. So
that's the Duncan luck.
Yeah, that's me. So I had Incredibles 2, which came to a total of 90%, which is fairly reasonable. Solo, which averaged out to about a 67%.
That's higher than I thought it would land at, to be honest.
Yeah.
Even though it's better than a 67.
Cloverfield Paradox, unfortunately, got me a 31.5% overall score, which that killed me, man. That's really what really messed me up. And then, unfortunately, even you can see here, like Venom was my fourth choice.
Venom. I can't believe you picked Venom, because no one thought it was going to be great going into it.
I think if I go back a year, I was like, dude, no, Venom's going to be good. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. No. Yeah, and Venom rounding out my 4 with a whopping 56%, which averaged that out to about a 61% hit rate there. Not the best score in the world.
No, I mean, you would fail.
Barely 0.5% above me is Garrett. And Garrett had Ralph Breaks the Internet, which averaged out to a 78%. Ready Player One. Remember that movie? Remember when that movie came out?
Oh my God, that was this year. Well, that was January too, wasn't it?
That was like March, I think.
Oh, God. I always say I think it's February.
Yeah. Which averaged out to a 74.5%. Okay, so now this is interesting. He originally had Mulan, which was scheduled to come out this year, until a few months in when Mulan was rescheduled, and with that sort of being a little bit of a hindrance in the contest, we gave Garrett a little bit of a mulligan here, and he actually unfortunately went with Mowgli, which ended up also being a Netflix release and coming in a whopping 56% score there for that one. Not the best.
I still gotta watch it, even though I never will. I'll always be like, I'll watch it one day, and I'm never gonna watch it.
And then rounding out Garrett's 4 were Strangers Pray at Night, which I think you've technically got the lowest one, which is funny.
Because if I wouldn't, I think I would have
37.5% for Garrett there, which give him a whopping. I had 61%. He had 61.5%, which puts us at the bottom of the barrel. Then we jump to Will, which his first round draft pick was Crimes of Grindelwald, which came out to a whopping 49%.
Yeah, it's too high.
Deadpool 2, which averaged out to an 84%.
Way too high for that, I think.
Halloween 2018, which averaged out to a 76%.
Too low.
And Mary Poppins Returns, which surprisingly, I still haven't gotten to see the movie yet, 73.5%.
That movie came and went so fast.
Yeah, people aren't even talking about that movie anymore.
No.
Which averaged his full out average score to a 70.6%. So that puts him firmly in third place. And now the runner-up to the 2018 movie draft, our old buddy Eric here, who thought he had the contest won.
I thought I did, because I have 3 movies. 3 out of my 4 are all, I mean, hang on. What do I have that's A Quiet Place is at 89, 35, 95, 87. Yeah, see, like that, A Wrinkle in Time killed me, man. Even if A Wrinkle in Time would have been like at least a 50%, even maybe like a 40%, that would have bumped me up a little bit.
Right. So you were the winner of the first overall pick, obviously going with Infinity War. Good choice.
Thank you.
Not your highest rated movie, which is very interesting.
It's actually my 3rd highest rated movie.
And it's very interesting. You the soothsayer over here, saw you trusted in the process, and you went with Spider-Verse, which is your highest.
And A Quiet Place. And if you go back to that episode, I talk up those movies. I'm like, these are going to be good movies.
Dude, and Into the Spider-Verse is the highest one on this list. 95.5%
It'll
overall.
end probably, 92, 93.
Yeah, see, I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's actually, these are these numbers as of today. Now, these numbers might change a little bit, but I don't think the placement of who placed where is going to change that much. So 95.5% for Into the Spider-Verse. Wrinkle in Time was what really killed you at an average of 35%. And then A Quiet Place was another killer for you at 89%, giving you an overall percentage of 76.8 was your total.
Thanks for that extra 0.05.
Yeah, you're welcome. Right, and of course, the Blurred Without Fear himself, Ernie, came in first place in our little contest here, and it's very interesting exactly how this worked out, because Ernie's a lucky dude, man. Like he got very lucky.
Bumblebee
in this.
being, yeah.
So another one here. So he his first pick was
Alita would have probably put him in at least 3rd place.
Well, that's the thing too. His first pick was Black Panther, which now all these months later is averaging out about an 88%.
Too high.
Aquaman, Ant-Man and the Wasp has averaged out to an 83%.
A little too high, I think.
Aquaman, his 3rd pick, averaging out at a 72.5 percentile.
About
And this last one here is very interesting because this is another one that Ernie originally had Alita chosen as his fourth
which
pick.
looks awful, man.
Which I there's a reason why the movie was moved from whatever date it was scheduled to be released in, and now is coming out like either January or February.
Is it coming out on Netflix or is it coming in a theater?
No, it's coming to theaters.
Yeah, it's like January, February,
as
right?
far as
That's
I
what I'm
know.
afraid of with Hellboy.
Alita is scheduled for February 14th of 2019.
Oh, happy Valentine's Day, Alita.
I mean, maybe it's got that Deadpool luck, you know? Who knows?
Nope.
But I remember the conversation I had with Ernie. I texted him and I said, "Hey, man, you know, Alita has been pushed to 2019."
Why do her eyes look like this?
That's the design of the character.
Oh, no.
Her eyes are supposed to be that big.
That's problematic.
If you go back to the manga, that's how her eyes
Oh, because
look.
it's anime, right? I mean, they have bigger eyes. But isn't this like live action, though?
Sort
Or is
of.
this actually CG?
It's CG live action combo there.
Is she Pinocchio?
She's like a cyborg, I think.
Is this like that movie Scarlett Johansson was that everyone got mad about?
Yeah, I get that vibe, but I don't. What was that movie? The Ghost in the Shell.
Dude, Christoph Waltz is in this
Christoph
movie?
Waltz is in this movie. Yeah.
That looks like
Sorry,
Haley Steinfeld, to be honest.
Christoph. But yeah, so I remember having the conversation with Ernie. I was like, "Hey, man, Alita's been pushed to 2019. You need to pick another movie." And what did he originally pick?
Yeah, because it wasn't this Bumblebee like his third movie?
Okay, so it was shortly before. I think it had to have been around the time that Venom came out, because he asked if Venom was still available. He wanted to go with Venom, and I already had it on my list.
What was Venom at, 256? Man, that would have let me win,
56%. Yeah,
Should have given it to him. That would have given you a higher score.
Yeah,
If you actually gave that up,
completely wiped. And then I had gone with Bumblebee. So yeah, and then Ernie had mentioned in the conversation that he was going to go with Bumblebee. He was just, and at the time, I don't think anybody knew how good Bumblebee was going to be, and he was just like, you know, whatever, I'll just go with Bumblebee. You know, it's not, you know, at that point, he already had Black Panther, which is killing it, and Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is like steady as she goes. And Bumblebee actually coming out with his second highest score of his entire team there with an 86%, which bumped him into first place for a total of 82.4%. So, Ernie, congratulations on being the winner of the 2018 movie draft. Now, let me ask you this, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something that you'd be interested in doing again?
Yeah, I would do it.
We'd have to. I'm thinking about maybe trying to do this again. The only thing that's just tough is I enjoyed that podcast where it was all five of us together on the one podcast. That was so much fun, and I feel like it would be kind of tough to get everybody back together again to do it again. But
so we're coming to Toledo to do it live. HeroShot live.
We're coming to Oklahoma City, Toledo, Michigan State,
Reno, Nevada
campus.
Michigan State campus. They don't know we're coming. There's a Domino's on campus. We're gonna do it there.
We're good. So congratulations to Ernie.
Let's go to places with Domino's.
The blurred without fear himself, Ernie. I don't know if we're planning on doing any type of prize for this, but we'll figure something out. But and then we'll also we'll figure out if we're gonna do this again or not. It was a super fun.
You just Google Hangout or Skype it. We'll figure it out. I'll look it up.
We'll do something. All right. Well, that about wraps up this very extended 2018 wrap up. Oh, what a year, guys.
I'm hungry.
Huh?
I'm hungry.
I'm a little hungry myself.
I'm not gonna lie. This is very embarrassing to say on air.
You got to poop?
It's on record. I had 2 Big Macs for lunch. They were 2 for $5.
Oh, dude, did you get any fries?
No, because it was 2 for $5, so that's what I got.
Good on you, man. I'm not a fan of the McDonald's fries. Not a fan.
What?
Not a fan.
All right, that's too much to say right there.
And
we rank our fast food
if I was to, I would do the same. Either that or 2 quarter pounders or 2 10 nuggets, 20 nuggets.
What's your favorite fast food French fry? Actually, you know what? Save that.
We'll save.
That's going to be a 2019 thing.
We'll save it for 2019. And that's one thing that I real quickly wanted to get to before we adjourn for this evening is, first of all, I wanted just to thank all of the heroes out there for making 2018 as special as it was. And I also wanted to thank all of the new heroes that have joined the HeroShot community here within these past week or so off of the Us trailer reaction. I mean, I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but
I mean, I don't mean to toot Philip Seymour Hoffman's horn. But
okay,
we're tooting it.
So I guess I'm Philip Seymour Hoffman. I'm actually Pumpkin Spice Hoffman.
Yeah, true. That's what I. Yeah.
Is my new alter ego, Pumpkin Spice Hoffman.
PSH.
No, I wanted to just welcome all of the new heroes to the HeroShot community.
I just pictured you thinking, because you seem like you didn't want to be compared to him.
No, I didn't.
Like, I don't want to lose any more weight now. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm
good.
No.
No. I didn't want to be compared to a guy who had a massive overdose.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
You like? What if I was like, you're funny?
I know
like
I
Chris
look
Farley.
like. I know I look like.
You're funny like Chris Farley. That doesn't mean that because he OD'd.
I've gotten Chris Farley before.
Because you're funny like him.
And I'm a little fat too.
No, well, no, buddy.
Thanks, man.
You're funny like Robin Williams.
Thanks, dude.
Well, no, he killed himself.
He also killed himself.
You're funny like why am I thinking Jude Law?
Yeah.
He's not really in comedy.
He's good. For a guy with a receding hairline, he's a good-looking dude.
I guess I haven't noticed it. Does he have like a? He doesn't.
He's
have
got that. He's got that. His forehead kind of really hides it well. Like his forehead looks like it was kind of meant to be that way, but he's definitely receding a little bit. But he rocks it well, dude. He makes it look good. But no, I just wanted to thank all of the heroes that have been with us since the beginning, as well as all of the new heroes for joining us on this journey. 2019 is going to be very special. We've got a lot planned for 2019. A lot more shows, a lot more reviews, a lot more. Oh my God, that's awful.
That's bad.
That's really bad.
That's the McDonald's logo, bro. That's not good at all.
But no, just how thin it is right there.
Look at his hair.
Oh my gosh, that's not
good. And you can't do, if you get rid of this, you got to get rid of the rest of it. Yeah. That's the issue.
Yeah. But see, like,
you can get this fixed. No.
But see, like, look at him in
I don't like that they put the date and time there anymore. I'm sorry, that's annoying.
Look at the thing for Captain Marvel. Like, look at him in Captain Marvel. I guarantee you his hair's different. I guarantee he's gotten it fixed since then. Anyways, while we're sitting here talking about Jude Law's hairline, I figured I'd go ahead and wrap up the show here.
Are you going to tell them about our new show called Jude Law's Hairline coming in 2019?
Jude Law's Hairline. Looking forward to it. We're going to go through every Jude Law. See how thick it looks there? It's high, but it's thick.
Yeah, but you can kind of tell it's still there.
Like, it might not be real. That might be CG. We're going to go through every Jude Law movie and just compare his hairline. No, I'm joking. But we do actually have a lot of very exciting things coming out in 2019. I think it's fair to say that they can expect a video where we sort of take them through what all we have planned for 2019. The new we're gonna be going to like a weekly schedule that hopefully you guys can expect certain programming on particular days.
Is this PBS
content?
Thank you.
Content, not like programming. Thanks to your special gift of $8.99. No,
every month.
But no, 2019 is going to be a very exciting time, and we are both very much looking forward to it. Expect that within the coming months.
You're the hero.
Hashtag
that as a thing.
Be a hero. Well, it was a thing for.
No, I was saying just because 2019 hashtag Year of the Hero.
I thought you said you're a hero. Sorry.
No, Year of the Hero.
Gotcha. Year of the Hero. It's a little hard to say, but I like it.
Hero.
All right, everybody. Happy 2018 to all you heroes out there.
You did it.
We want to wish you a safe and happy New Year's Eve. Looking forward to 2019. Looking forward to bringing more content to all you guys. And with all of that said, we'll see you next year, everybody.
See ya next year. Even
Bye,
though by the time they watch us, it'll be next year.
Yeah.
Recording this from an entire year ago.
How does it feel?
Feels like we're
all right, everybody.
See ya.
See ya. Bye.